From Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia, it's Game 4 of the South Division Semifinals as the Atlanta Gladiators host the South Carolina Stingrays. South Carolina leads the series 2-1 after winning 4-0 over the Gladiators last night in Game 3. Guy Chiarenza with you here tonight on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, on Flow Hockey and YouTube. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau as well. Gladiators looking to bounce back here in Game 4 to even up the series for the second time in this opening round tilt, as South Carolina leads the series 2-1 after the Stingrays won 4-0 last night in Game 3 thanks to a 30-save shutout from goaltender Garen Bjorklund. Gladiators will try and bounce back here on home ice night, as they had a fired-up crowd last night but weren't able to really get anything going outside of the first 9 minutes, as the Gladiators outshot the Stingrays 6-0 for the first 9 minutes of play. South Carolina slowly chipped their way back into the game, and then a long shot ended up turning into a Dean Locust goal as Moore took the shot from the line. Locust tipped it in. South Carolina led 1-0 after one period of play. Romain Rodzinski scored in the second period for the Stingrays, as did Charlie Combs, to make it a 3-0 South Carolina lead before the Stingrays added another from Combs in the third period to make it a 4-0 hockey game, and that was the final. For the Gladiators, the first time being shut out in a playoff game since Game 4 of the South Division Semifinals against Jacksonville back in 2022, when Francois Broussard, the netminder for the Icemen that day, had a 37-save shutout of the Gladiators to eliminate Atlanta, what was their most recent postseason appearance until this year. Gladiators look to bounce back here today, as we will see Garen Bjorklund again for South Carolina, fresh off that 30-save shutout, the first in his Kelly Cup playoff career. For Ethan Hyder last night, stopped 20 of 24, and for South Carolina, it really was because they won the net front. Not really a whole lot Hyder could have done on most of those goals scored by South Carolina. The first one, a tip in front. The second, Josh Wilkins camped out in front of the net. He finished the night with 2 assists, and Charlie Combs had a breakaway on the fourth, as Hyder will now see TJ Semptimphelter take over the net for the second time this series, as Semptimphelter was the one who earned the Gladiators' win in Game 2, as Semptimphelter stopped 22 of 25 in Game 2 in a 4-3 victory, as he became the first Gladiators goaltender to record a playoff win since Louis Domingue back in 2013 in the second round against the Cincinnati Cyclones. And so Atlanta will be led by the ECHL all-rookie teamer TJ Semptimphelter here tonight. And we'll also keep a close eye on the special teams battle as well, as the Gladiators did not fare well in the special teams department last night. Gladiators went 0 for 6 on the power play, and while 2 of those were abbreviated, as we saw some 4-on-4 action at times, the Gladiators' power play didn't produce a whole lot of shots and really didn't produce a whole lot of anything. And the Stingrays did tack on their first power play goal of the series from Charlie Combs, as Atlanta went 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. In this series, the Gladiators are 1 for 12 on the power play, around 8% there, but they are faring quite well on the penalty kill, for 9 for 10 in that regard, 90% through 3 games in this series. And it seems like it's been a battle of the 2 penalty kills so far in this opening round matchup between these two, as the Gladiators' penalty kill in this series, as I mentioned before, around 90%. For the Stingrays, just a little bit better. They have gone 11 for 12 on the PK, as their penalty kill operates at 91.7%, and there shouldn't be really surprised to anybody in league circles, as the Stingrays did boast the 4th best penalty kill statistically in the ECHL in the regular season. So we'll keep an eye on that special teams battle here tonight. We'll also watch to see how the Gladiators combat what the Stingrays were throwing at them in terms of winning the net fronts. That was one of Mackin's keys to the game for the Gladiators yesterday in Game 3. Atlanta really didn't win the net front. South Carolina definitely did, and Josh Wilkins was a big factor in that for South Carolina. We'll see how Atlanta is able to combat that here today in Game 4, as it feels like if they want a chance to win here tonight and tie the series up before the scene shifts back to South Carolina on Friday night for Game 5, they're going to have to find a way to put an end to that. We saw Jack Mateer return to the lineup in Game 3 after being reassigned from Milwaukee to Atlanta. Palmatier had a good game for the Gladiators, all things considered, as he did not play with the Admirals in their 3-game playoff run against the Manitoba Moose before being eliminated. Caught a flight to Atlanta, played that same day as the Gladiators certainly benefited from having him back in the lineup. Watch out for Matier to be one of those guys that helps the Gladiators clean up in front of TJ Semptimphelter here tonight and win the net fronts here in Game 4. Also take a look at the new look bottom 6 for the Gladiators here today. Obviously, when you don't get a whole lot of offensive production, something needs to give. Matt Ginn shuffling the deck here tonight, and our bottom 6 is as follows. Cody Sylvester will be with Joey Cipollone and Adam Isley on the 3rd line, and the 4th line will be Ryan Nolan with Carson Denemy and Eric Neely. It really feels like the Gladiators need to find a way to get Eric Neely and Cody Sylvester rolling again, as both of those two guys were hot back towards the end of the regular season heading into the playoffs, but both have cooled off a little bit. Neely, no points so far in this series. Sylvester just 1 assist coming back in Game 2. And really, that's been one of the internal matchups in this series so far, is the Gladiators' bottom 6 against the Stingrays' bottom 6. And it's also been the defensemen of the Gladiators up against the South Carolina top stars as well, and vice versa, as we've seen Chad Nychuk do quite well against Simon Pinard, the 4th leading scorer in the ECHL this season. Pinard did pick up his first point in the form of an assist last night in Game 3, but otherwise, Nychuk has done a good job of taking care of that battle so far in this series. And it feels like if the Gladiators can continue to contain South Carolina's top guns, they have a shot to tie this series here tonight and take the lead in Game 5. So we'll watch that battle of bottom 6s here today, here in Game 4. Gladiators are led by TJ Semptimphelter in net. We'll take a look at the rest of the starting lineup here tonight on the other side, and we'll also get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda as we are getting set for Game 4 at Gas South Arena. But first, a word from the ECHL.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
The Gladiators and the Stingrays are getting set for battle in Game 4 of the South Division Semifinals. South Carolina leads the series 2-1. We will have a Game 5 on Friday in North Charleston between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. The question is will South Carolina still lead the series at that point, or will the Gladiators bounce back here in Game 4 to tie the series up at 2 and force a Game 6 back here in Duluth next Monday night? We're about to find out. Let's get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda as the Gladiators look to even up the series. Keys to the game with head coach Matt Ginn, and he kept it short and simple here today. Key number 1 is details. The Gladiators did not like the finer details of their game last night against the Stingrays in Game 3, and really was a game there was a lot left to be desired. That much can be said. For the Gladiators, look to clean up the finer details of their game and maybe just play a little bit simpler here tonight, as they got off to a hot start in Game 3, but ultimately fizzled out as the game went on. Key number 2 is urgency, and there wasn't a whole lot of that for the Gladiators last night in the Game 3 loss. Again, they got off to a hot start for the first 9 minutes, and there wasn't a whole lot much more after that. Once Dean Locust scored the opening goal, Gladiators looked to show a little bit more urgency, and as head coach Matt Gooden would say, played a little bit more jam here in front of their home crowd here in Game 4. And finally, the third key is execution. In that hot start for the Gladiators, in that first 9-minute span, they did have some really good opportunities to score. Now, Garen Bjorklund did make some sensational saves to keep the Gladiators off the board, but this final key, execution, the Gladiators will look to really hit the hammer home and find a way to execute on those prime scoring chances, as they will certainly have a few here in this game. And so that will be the final key of the game with head coach Matt Ginn, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. All right, let's take a look at our starting lineups here today, and we will begin with the Stingrays. They will start with their second line here today. As starting at left wing is number 22, Ludwig Persson, standing at 6 foot even, 185, Swedish forward, through 3 games in this series, has 1 assist. Persson in the regular season had 23 points in 41 games for the Stingrays, and was quite good for the Stingrays in the season series against the Gladiators with 4 points in 6 games. His starting center tonight is number 19, Stan Cooley, the rookie, standing at 5'11", 187. Native Regina, Saskatchewan, has 2 assists through 3 games in the series. Starting at right wing for South Carolina, has been their most lethal weapon of all in this series. Number 7, Charlie Combs, standing at 5'7", 190. The native of St. Louis, Missouri, leads all skaters in the series with 4 goals through 3 games. He had 2 goals last night in Game 3 and has a goal in each game in this series. Starting at left defense for South Carolina is number 27, DJ King, standing at 6'3", 216, native of Long Island, New York, has a goal and assist for 2 points in 3 games in this series. He'll be paired up with number 74, Connor Moore, standing at 5'10", 174, native of Cumming, Georgia, which is where Beaver Toyota Mazda is located. Go check him out. He has 2 assists in 3 games in this series. And for South Carolina, starting in goal, he's played in every single game in this series, and fresh off the shutout in Game 3, had to go back to him. It's Garen Bjorklund, standing at 6'2", 195, native of Grand Prairie, Alberta, is under contract with the Stingrays NHL affiliate, the Washington Capitals. Bjorklund, through 3 games in this playoffs, has a 2-1 record, a 2.02 goals against average, and a .923 save percentage after that 30-save shutout of the Gladiators last night in Game 3. For the Stingrays, their non-dressers are Mikey Adamson, Kyler Kupka, Lyndon Breed, and Caden Bolson, who comes out of the lineup in favor of Ben Howarchuk, who makes his series debut. Stingrays are led by head coach Dave Warsofsky and assistant coaches Scott Davidson and Mike Hamilton, as we turn our attention to the starting lineups for the Gladiators here in Game 4. For the Gladiators, no newcomers into the lineup, but they do shuffle the deck a little bit. The defense from Game 3 to Game 4 remains the same, as the starting line for Atlanta is the new-look third line, with Cody Sylvester starting at left wing. The captain, standing at 5'11", 192, makes the start for the Gladiators here today. Played in 71 games in the regular season, had 19 goals and 26 assists for 45 points in the regular campaign. Through 3 games in this series, Sylvester has just 1 assist. Seems like the Gladiators trying to get him going here today, and we'll see he proves to be a factor in Game 4. Starting center is number 71, Joey Cipollone, standing at 5'11", 192, native of Purchase, New York. Had a career year in the regular season, playing every single game. Through 72 contests, Cipollone had 17 goals and 20 assists for 37 points. He, just like Sylvester, has 1 assist through 3 games in this series. Cipollone was hot down the stretch heading into the postseason. We'll see if he can get reignited here today, getting this start down the middle. At right wing, it's number 21, Adam Isley, standing at 6'2", 208, native of Lake Elmo, Minnesota, has been phenomenal for the Gladiators, especially in this series. First-year pro out of Ohio State University, has 3 goals in 3 games in this series. Had 2 goals in Game 1 and 1 goal in Game 2. Starting at left defense is number 8, Ryan Conroy, standing at 5'9", 185, native of Cheshire, Alberta. Has 1 assist through 3 games in this series. He'll be paired up with number 2, Brendan Less, standing at 6'1", 181, native of Kittleton, New Jersey. Had a good year with 4 goals and 14 assists for 18 points in 57 games. That D pairing for the Gladiators has arguably been their most consistent this season, and they get the start. And between the pipes for Atlanta here today, it is number 35, TJ Semptimphelter, standing at 6'1", 190, under contract to Milwaukee of the AHL, the Gladiators AHL affiliate. Semptimphelter had an absolutely insane season as a rookie. In 35 games, 20, 12, 2-1 the record, 2.28 goals against average, .917 save percentage, and 1 shutout. And he also led the Gladiators to their first playoff win in 13 years, stopping 22 of 25 in Game 2. He gets the start here tonight as Ethan Hyder, who started in Games 1 and 3, is the backup here tonight. The Gladiators non-dressers are number 9, Nolan Orzek, number 10, Cam Gaudette, number 15, Evan Orr, and number 20, Kirkland Irie. On injured reserve, it is number 7, Mickey Burns, number 14, Brett Bulmer, and number 23, Riley Appel. The Gladiators did make some changes. Talk about that as the night goes on in terms of the combos. Otherwise, the personnel from Game 3 to Game 4 remains the same. Gladiators are led by head coach and director of hockey operations Matt Ginn. Assistant coach is Zach Vanel. Equipment manager is Ben Ellis. Athletic trainers Nick Nelson. I'm Guy Chiarenza, and coming up next is the national anthem, sung by Crystal Wilson.
The captains from both teams, please join us in the south corner of the ice.
We are all set and ready to go for Game 4 of the South Division Semifinals. South Carolina leads the series 2-1. Atlanta looking to bounce back after a shutout loss in this building on Monday night. It was the first playoff game in this building in 8 seasons, and the Gladiators left a lot to be desired. Ended up being a 30-save shutout for Stingrays netminder Garen Bjorklund. He is their starter once again here today as Atlanta turns back to TJ Semptimphelter, who earned them their win, stopping 22 of 25 in South Carolina in Game 2. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau as well, as the Gladiators are wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers and trim. They will skate from right to left. And the Stingrays wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and red trim will skate from left to right to begin action here today. It is a 4-man officiating crew, different from what we saw before in Game 3, led by referees Rocco Stakoviak wearing number 28 and Jamie Pavia wearing number 26. Linesmen are Nick Klitschko wearing number 41 and Noah Ackerman wearing number 62. Fans, you can make your pick as to who you think is going to score the first goal of the game for the Gladiators and factor in with the first assist. Head on over to our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and X, and of course, right here in our YouTube live chat to cast your vote. First goal and first assist brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank and Pinnacle Promotions, respectively. Gladiators win the opening draw and spit it into the Stingray end. South Carolina squirms out to center where Les dangles in front of the Stingrays bench. At the right point, feels some contact from Cooley, slugs it down to the trapezoid where it's met by Isley. It's a pop fly, bobbled down behind the net by Cipollone. Springs it to Sylvester, winds it up top to Conroy. Cross ice to Les, back inside one at Isley, clanked off his skate, the Stingrays take flight. 3-on-2 developing for South Carolina. They'll poke it down to the end wall as Isley was able to get back in time on the back check. Gladiators peel that puck off the wall and shuttle it down for an icing with just 44 seconds gone by. Gladiators came out to a soaring start last night in Game 3, had the first 6 shots on goal. Stingrays didn't record their first shot until about the 9-minute mark of time gone by in the first, but slowly but surely the Stingrays got some wind in their sails and turned things around and took the momentum away and really didn't give it back. We'll see if anything changes for the Gladiators here today in Game 4. Face off to the right of Sempton-Felter. Stingrays have won it, although whistle quickly blows that play dead, and we'll get a do-over here. TJ Sempton-Felter, the member of the ECHL All-Rookie team, gets the start for the Gladiators here in Game 4. He's the first goalie in Gladiators history to make it to the ECHL All-Rookie team. Finished with the 4th best goals against average by an Atlanta goaltender in a single season with a 2.28 through 35 games in the regular year. Gladiators skate it through the neutral zone after winning the draw. Davies pumps it into Stingray ice. Battle for it along the far wall. Wilkins able to get just enough of it to nudge it to Lipin. Webb stretches it up the ice, has Wilkins open left wing, centers to Lipin, pass a tab behind. Loose puck goes to Davies, has Young on the run, brushes it back to Davies' right wing, he takes a shot, Young the side, Charlie goes across and they score! Jack O'Brien waiting backdoor, and the Gladiators open the scoring and they waste no time, scoring 1:17 in. Well, just about everybody on that line for Atlanta crashed the crease there as Davies took the initial shot, Bjork on the juicy rebound. And I believe Young was able to nudge it over to O'Brien, waiting backdoor, and the Gladiators strike first. They lead 1-0. And that's exactly what Atlanta needed after not producing after a flying start in Game 3. It is the 3rd game out of 4 games in this series in which the Gladiators have scored first. They are 1-1 in such instances in this series to this point. Scored first in Game 1 and lost. Scored first in Game 2 and won. And, of course, scored no goals in Game 3. Roos with it from his own end. Tosses it ahead to Jarvis. Funk trying to drag it away as Jarvis puts it into the far corner. Stingrays keep the line. Puck drifts to Jarvis. He'll skate it out into the neutral zone. Funk takes it away. Slaps it ahead for Nakbar. Funk gets tangled up with Jarvis along the near side. Puck drifts free to Denemy. Taken away. Funk delays for a shot. Blocked in front by Nakbar. Puck goes behind Sempton-Felter. Gladiators are able to pop it into the air with an active stick. Jarvis probing for it. Stingrays dig it free. Point to point, more to the left side for another shot by DJ King. And Sempton-Felter is able to gobble that one up for his first save of the night. Gladiators were fantastic when scoring first in the regular season, holding a record of 31-5, 1-1 when doing so. And last night in Game 3, had a flying start but wasn't able to produce anything out of it. Here tonight, they get exactly what they needed. First playoff goal for the Gladiators in this building in over 8 years. Denemy out of the near corner of his end. Chucks it ahead to Nolan. Off the stick in the neutral zone. Conroy picks it up, barreling down the right side. Just slinging around the boards into the near corner for Nolan. Met by Denemy and Hofer as well. South Carolina leaks it free and lobs it to the neutral zone, where the puck will skip back to Les. They'll swoop out from behind Semptimfelter. Throw up a right wing pass. Off the stick of Neely. Stingrays take it away. Puck is brushed into the near corner of the Atlanta end as Conroy beats out Cooley to it. Now Sylvester takes some contact. He locates Isley in the neutral zone. Cross-ice pass goes behind Les. Conroy's there to gather it. Back to Les. Finds Sylvester left wing. Gets around Webb for a shot. That goes out of play. Looks like it hit the stick of Romain Rodzinski, the Stingrays defender, and went into the back of the netting behind Bjorklund. If you can think back to Game 2, the Gladiators' lone win in this series, Atlanta had a power play in that game. They scored, I believe, 3:31 in. Isaac Walters scored the goal. Here tonight, the Gladiators hit that first goal even quicker as they score 1:17 in. And so we're starting to see some parallels already from Game 2 to Game 4 here. Off the draw, Isley shoots off a stick and wide. Picks it up on the right wing for another shot, but ends up going through the slot. Nijak at the left point. Has Cipollone off the half wall. Centers for Sylvester. Puck pinballs back to the near boards. Nijak takes a swipe at it, but all in all, it ends up coming back out to center. Isley stuffs it back into the near corner. Gladiators throw a pick and roll as Cipollone has it taken away by Webb. The Stingrays will now dispose of it the length of the ice, and that will be an icing as they threw that one up from the wrong side of the red line. 1 second shy of 4 minutes gone by in this contest. Atlanta leads 1-0 off of Jack O'Brien's second of the postseason. Alex Young and Josh Davies get the assists on the opening tally. And for Josh Davies, that's his first point as a Gladiator. Was assigned from Milwaukee to Atlanta for the final game of the regular season. Has played in 2 games prior in this series. Faced a 1-game suspension for a hit of Romain Rodzinski in Game 1. And Alex Young has his first point of the series as well with the assist. Jack O'Brien had a goal and an assist in Game 2. Davies led ahead to Young from the left wing. Takes a shot. Lurking in front of the goal was O'Brien, but Bjorklund was able to knife it away. Now along the near side, it is Combs, ever so dangerous. Finds Rodzinski on the far wall. They'll just tap it into Atlanta ice. Pressing on the forecheck is Wilkins. Gladiators escape the heat as Les from the right corner sheds a defender and finds Conroy in the near. They'll pop it out to the neutral zone where it's handled by Krenzen. The Stingrays look to move up ice. Not going to happen right here as Young creates a takeaway. Burrowing his way deep below the goal line and throwing a check on Leskovar behind Bjorklund. Stingrays drift the puck out to center. Pinard tries to get around Nijak. The All-ECHL first-teamer shuts him down. Pinard and Nijak both named to the All-ECHL first team this season. Nijak became the 4th Gladiators defenseman and the 9th player overall to be named to the team. McNamee's left wing shot goes wide of Bjorklund. Puck over in the far corner. Walter spars for it. Roost as well. McNamee gets a piece of it to set up Mateer for a shot. Saved by Bjorklund, and the puck is cleared in a hurry. And it'll be no icing as it goes on goal to Semptimfelter. 5:25 gone by in the first period. Gladiators hold a 1-0 lead. Roost delays to Walter at center circle. A pass at left wing for McNamee for a shot. Gloved up by Bjorklund, and he will hold with 14:27 on the clock. And afterwards, a little bit of a convergence, but nothing like what we've seen in this series so far. It's been a very physical series between these two, and that's really just the way this division is played. Some really old school style of hockey at times, where you see a lot of physicality, a lot of post-whistle scrums. And we certainly saw that in games 1 and 2. Not a whole lot of it in game 3, at least not compared to the first 2 games. And so far here, in the first 5 minutes and 33 seconds, nothing in that regard, although that'll certainly change at some point throughout the course of the evening. Face-off on the near circle. Nolan, Denemy, and Neely come out. Corabia and Jarvis man the blue line. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. Nolan, Denemy, and Neely come out. Corabia and Jarvis man the blue line. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Nolan, he'll scoot it to the point for Corabia. 'As Denemy is able to win the draw to Try to go back to Nolan. Guzzo gets in front of it and is able to nip it behind the net for Connor Moore, and he will clear the zone. Looking for Hofer up ice. Boxed out of the puck by Carabia. Carabia made his Kelly Cup playoff debut last night in Game 3. He played in over 200 regular season games before making his first postseason appearance, as Semptimphelter makes a save and kicks the puck into the near corner. Carabia and Neely look to hunt it down on the far side. Slithering away is DJ King. Up to the near side, ladles it to the line. A shot by Hofer, turned away by Semptimphelter. Gladiators look to clear the zone. Hofer able to keep. Driving down the left wing, wants to center. Hits the skate of King and sputters to the goal line. Puck skips behind the net. Eventually makes its way to Neely on the far wall, and he'll just chuck it out to center. Neely and the Gladiators head off for a change, as Semptimphelter slows the puck down in the trapezoid and leaves it for Jarvis. We'll wait a moment to see what unfolds in front of them. Gladiators looking to find an avenue up ice, as Jarvis pumps it to the left wing for Conroy. Stretch to the red line, off the stick of Sylvester for Cipollone. He'll curl to his forehand, try and find Sylvester in the high slot. The pass is taken away by Combs. Through the neutral zone is Person, finding Cooley right wing, and he'll plop the puck out of play after taking a check with 12:55 left in the first. Jack O'Brien has the opening score in Game 4, and the Gladiators lead 1-0 with 12:55 on the clock. We're back for more first period action after this from our local partners.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Never miss a goal. With Flow Hockey, you can watch today's event live along with all other Flow Hockey games for the rest of the playoffs. Giving you to flowhockey.tv for more information and to sign up for your subscription today. That's flohockey.tv, and they are running a limited time pricing offer, so make sure you go check that out. You get 12 months of access for the price of 3, just $9.99 per month, or about $120 a year. Puck loose in the far corner of the Gladiator zone. Shot up the outside of the cage, swept away by Les. Stingrays keep their pedal to the metal as Combs, in the near corner, ladles it to the line. Rodzinski, a shot off a body and wide. Rebound goes back to Combs. The puck churns around to the far wall, left for Rodzinski at the point. Steers it down behind the net for Cooley. Working on his backhand, exchanges with Combs. Stood up by Conroy, threads it across to Rodzinski. Manning the left point, he'll take a shot off a skate into the far corner. Gladiators hack it off the wall where it's picked up by Conroy. Pushed ahead for Cipollone, tried to touch it to Sylvester. Pass a bit too far ahead, and the Stingrays just plug it back out to center. Hauled in by O'Brien, he'll drive down the left wing and shoot. Shot goes wide, as Gladiators look to hold the right point, but the Stingrays do squirm free. Lipin slides it down the left wing by Semptimphelter into the near corner. Picked up by Pinard. Chucks it behind the net for Wilkins. The longtime Stingray puts it to the line. Cross ice to Moore. He will shoot. Blocked in front, and Young and the Gladiators press up ice. O'Brien to Davies. Pass jumps too far ahead. And now we get a whistle with 11:22 on the clock. Gladiators were offside on that sequence, trying to execute a give and go. And so we'll see a face-off in the neutral zone here. This game is broadcast live on Flow Hockey, where you can watch the game. For those of you watching/listening on our YouTube audio feed. If you want to watch this game, you have to go to flowhockey.tv and sign up with a subscription. And as I mentioned before, they are running a limited time pricing offer through the playoffs. Otherwise, this is an audio-only stream, and we cannot turn the camera around there because the licensing belongs to Flow Hockey. Neutral zone face-off won by the Gladiators. Stick of Guzzo shattered. Jarvis wheels it from corner to corner to the far side. Young picking at it. Look at it to Davies. Behind the net, scoots it up top. Carabia holds, takes a shot off a stick and into the near corner. Gladiators keep a hand on it as Jarvis at the left point. Sidesteps and shoots off the corner wall towards the net. Bjorklund punches it away. Stingrays trying to clear, but Jarvis keeps the zone again. As man open in the left point and takes the return feed up top. He will hold, try and go back to Young and Will. Slap shot off a leg and wide. McNamee fresh off the bench, squirms his way to the end wall. Pinned up by Connor Moore, exchanges with O'Brien. Centering pass for a shot. Mopped up by Bjorklund. 10:34 left in the first period. Shot count reads 7-4 in favor of the Gladiators. And Atlanta does have a 1-0 lead thanks to the goal from Jack O'Brien, 1:17 in. Gladiators will now send out Roost, Walter, and McNamee for this face-off to the left of Bjorklund. Blue liners are Conroy and Les, which has been one of the Gladiators' most consistent pairings all season long. At the right point, it is Les for a shot off the end wall. Stingrays pick up the puck. Puck dumped into Semtenfelter, puts a paw on it, and the clock will stop with 10:18 left in the first. And a little bit more of a welcoming party behind the net. Game 4 of this series. These two teams definitely know each other pretty well by now. Played 9 times in the regular season. South Carolina won that season series. Gladiators had a record of 4-3-2 against South Carolina. Face off to the left of Semtenfelter. It'll be Roos to take it against Dean Locus. Austin Roost, a former 6th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators back in 2023, is under contract with Nashville as the Stingrays win that draw. The shot goes over the head of Semtenfelter. Loose along the far boards, Walter. He'll jam it through center. He'll get off for a change. McNamee stays out on the forecheck as Neely comes on for Walter. And now McNamee and Roost make their way towards the bench. Howard Chuck making his series debut. Loses the puck on the near sideboards to Roost, who ends up staying on. Extended shift for number 86. They grab it in front of the scorer's table and lift it into the near corner and now head off to complete the change. Neely in the neutral zone. Mateer floats it into Stingray ice. Puck in the far corner. Rodzinski over to Webb. Up the ice, 2-person over the red line. He'll push it into the near corner. On time for Cooley. Drops it off for Combs. Around the boards to the far corner. Neely tries to clear the zone, but it's held in by Rodzinski. Now Combs at the right point takes a shot. Kick save by Semtenfelter. Rebound to Cooley on the right corner. He'll thread it by the goal. Momentum carries the puck through center. And all the way down to the Stingrays' end. The Gladiators see this as an opportunity to get a change in, and they will. 8:55 left in the first as Combs gains the attacking line. Throws the puck behind Semtenfelter, where it's grabbed by Jarvis. Led ahead to Sylvester. Up the left wing wall he goes. Cross-ice pass in the neutral zone. Goes just away from Cipolone. And then the Gladiators are offside on the zone entry with 8:41 on the clock. Gladiators lead 1-0. Jack O'Brien with the lone score. They lead the shot count 7-4 as well. As with 8:41 left in the first period, we'll take a moment to step aside.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
.8:41 left in the first period. Gladiators lead 1-0 over South Carolina here in Game 4. Stingrays lead the series 2-1. Gladiators looking to tie this series before the scene shifts back to North Charleston on Friday night for Game 5. Stingrays dump the puck in behind Felter. Quick exchange to Cipollone, and Atlanta is on the run. Cipollone through the neutral zone, gains the blue line, and not much more. Stingrays toss the puck back out to center. Nychuk spun around by Pinard. Bodies converge in front of the scorer's table as the puck leaks to Sylvester. They'll spring Cipollone down the right wing. He'll clank it off the wall in hopes of returning it to his own possession. King gets in front of it. Sylvester joins the fray to help out. Below the goal line, puck is smacked to the boards. Pinard's got a piece of it. South Carolina maneuvers out to the neutral zone. Lipin, left wing for Wilkins. Goes across to Pinard. He will hold and tries to get a shot off, but ends up flubbing off his stick as he was defended well by Brendan Less. And Felter is able to reel in the slowly drifting puck. 7:50 left in the first. And the Gladiators will get fresh men on. Conroy and Less has been one of the Gladiators' most sturdy and consistent pairings this season. Both were acquired in separate trades from the Adirondack Thunder in the offseason. It's safe to say that those two trades have panned out quite nicely. Face off to the left of Felter. Those two will stay on as the O'Brien, Davies, and Young line takes the ice. That's the line that scored the goal. Davies gets checked in the corner. Centering shot turned away by Felter. Now behind the cage, it is a centering pass from Leskovar that goes through the slot. Stingrays keep a hand on it as Hofer from the near corner spins away from Conroy. Tries to drive towards the net. Felter able to kick it away. Second chance by Guzzo, and he's got that one as well. And now Conroy and Guzzo going at it in the slot. Conroy's able to shove him down, and there it is. The nastiness. The pot boils over for the first time here tonight in Game 4. And Ryan Conroy, no stranger to that sort of business, and the officials seem to know that as well. They're going to take him to the box along with Guzzo. Should be roughing to both. We'll see if they leave us a 5-on-5 here or take us to 4-on-4. We did see separate instances last night in Game 3 of 4-on-4 play, as Les gives his D partner his equipment that he lost during that skirmish with Guzzo. And we will go to 4-on-4 action with Conroy and Guzzo in the box, both 2 for roughing. And we'll see who the open ice benefits here in Game 4. Didn't really benefit anybody in Game 3. 7:18 on the clock. Faceoff will be to the right of Felter. Gladiators trot out O'Brien, Nychuk, Young, and Mateer. Faceoff will be between Lipin and Young. Lipin does win it, sets up a shot for Rodzinski. That screeches wide, and Nychuk will possess the rebound. I'll pop it over to Mateer on the far wall. Has Young in the neutral zone. Bounced off the puck at his own blue line. Fights to try and get it back. Pushes Rodzinski into the boards and is able to dish it off to O'Brien. He'll drive down the left wing, shadowed by Riley Webb. O'Brien makes his way into the corner and leaves it for Young, who sputters it to the far wall. Nychuk shoves Pinard into the boards. Puck drifts below the goal line. Rodzinski sends it up ice to Lipin. Lone defender back is Mateer. Takes a stab at the puck and is able to take it away. Mateer from the red line pulls up a bit. Tries to get a better idea of what his options are. Gives it off to his D partner Nychuk. and we'll head off for a change. Meanwhile, Nychuk enters on the left side, tries to cut to the slot. Stingrays keep him to the perimeter as the puck will drift behind Bjorklund, and now Nychuk and Young will get off to complete the change. 1 minute gone by on the 4-on-4. 6:15 left in the first. South Carolina weaves their way down to the trapezoid behind Semptimphelter. We'll find King on the far boards, looking for Locus in the corner. Gladiators all over this puck. Stingrays try and keep it away, but Roost is stronger. Gets hauled down at his own blue line. Fans looking for a penalty, but there is none. The Gladiators bench was a bit up in arms as well. Matt Ginn, arms in the air, looking for something, but whole lot of nothing. And DJ King will skate it back into his own end, trying to get away from Roost. 22 seconds left on the penalties to Guzzo and Conroy. Cooley pulls up in the left corner, has a man at the line, hits the stick of Webb and drifts out to center. In a hurry, ends up turning it over to Nolan. Gladiators will punch the puck into the far corner. Nolan gets their first, beating out Webb. Webb under contract with the Hershey Bears, able to kick the puck to Combs. Leading goal scorer on both sides in this series. Combs with 4 goals through 3 games. Puts the puck into the far corner. Gladiators get in front of it as Conroy and company make their way back out to center. Nolan over the blue line, smacks it off the glass and in. And that will be an icing as he was on the wrong side of the red line with 5 minutes left in the first. So we'll see another face-off back down near TJ Semptimphelter, who to this point has stopped 6 of 6. Garen Bjorklund 6 of 7 for the Stingrays. Gladiators on the ice. Nolan, Denemy. Looks like they're going with 3 defensemen right now off the icing. They tried to execute a change. We got Conroy, Jarvis, and Mateer. Puck goes into the body of Denemy. His stick shattered on the draw. 4-on-4 has come to a close. Back to 5-on-5. As Webb, point-to-point, has Rodzinski. Denemy still without a stick. As now a cross-ice feed of the blue line hits the skate of Webb and tumbles back out to center. Massive break for the Gladiators there. Hofer plunges back in, tries to knife his way towards the slot, but is defended well by Mateer. Isley with the puck now, skates over the red line for Atlanta. Has some separation. Isley cross-ice, tipped in front, and puck will drift to the corner. Isley gets it back for another shot, and Bjorklund is able to haul that one in with 4:19 on the clock. Adam Isley, using his skating legs here in Game 4, has 3 goals in 3 games in this series. And he was looking to add to the Atlanta lead here late in the first. Gladiators lead 1-0 with 4:19 on the clock. We're back after this from our local partners.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Gladiators lead 1-0 with 4:19 left in the first period of Game 4. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau for the first intermission report as well. Big shout out to Shelby. Gladiators' first home goal in this building during the playoffs in 8 years was scored by Jack O'Brien here tonight. The last player to do so was Tanner Pond back in Game 4 of the 2018 South Division Semifinals against Florida. Pinard surges through the neutral zone, tries to cut to the net. Les makes another great defensive stand. Pinard didn't even get a shot off. Les just directed him to the trapezoid, and the Gladiators create the takeaway. Bernard held to just 1 assist so far in this series, that coming last night in Game 3. Stretch pass for Sylvester, ends up going down as an icing with 3:59 left in the first. And we'll see where they actually put this face-off here. It will be near Semptimphelter, although everybody was kind of lurking around in the neutral zone for a moment. Matt Ginn shuffle the deck after the shutout loss in Game 3, and it seems to be proving to be working out quite well. Josh Davies was on the 4th line last night, gets elevated to the 1st line with Jack O'Brien and Alex Young, who was on the 3rd line last night. And so far here in Game 4, that has been the Gladiators' best line, and they did produce the goal. All 3 forwards combining on the lone goal from O'Brien. Nychuk behind the net, directs it to Mateer. Quickly up the ice they go with a series of passes. Young scoots it ahead in hopes of finding Davies. Krenzen gets in front of it, ends up turning it over to O'Brien in the near corner. Left for Davies, O'Brien behind the net. On his forehand, puts it up top to Mateer. From the right wing, pass fans off his stick. Stingrays sweep it to center. Pinard wants a stab at it, but Nychuk beats him to it. Gladiators quickly enter on the left side. Puck floated to the slot. Handled by Leskovar, stabbed away by Young. O'Brien centers, and Young fanned on the one-timer as Krenzen got a stick in there at the last second. South Carolina in transition has Pinard for a right-wing shot. Blocked by Jarvis. Pinard behind the net. On his forehand, ladles it to the line, and Lipin screened his own man and King. He couldn't quite corral the pass, and the Stingrays have to exit the zone. Person. Left wing pass to Combs. Down the wall, takes a shot. A high riser goes over the cage. Moore back to Combs. Point to point for King. Thread downhill to Moore. Backdoor for a shot, and they score. Stan Cooley ties the game at 1, and there was nothing Semptimphelter could have done about it. Surgical passing from the Stingrays ties this game at 1. Stan Cooley has his first goal of the series, and the Stingrays are rolling with 2:46 left in the first. They made it look easy on that play. Looking like the Harlem Globetrotters out there, just every which way and then into the back of the net. And as both number 19s for the respective clubs have a goal here today. And Game 4 is now tied at 1 apiece. 2:46 left in the first. McNamee at the left point. Holds but doesn't shoot. Slings it to the trapezoid where Walter's got a hand on it. The Swede ladles it to the line. Conroy shakes and shoots. Blocked by Locus, and the Stingrays will push it out to center. Conroy feels some contact as he flips it to Roost. Pulls up at the left wing half wall. Gives it back to Conroy at the point. Across to Nychuk, fresh off the bench. He'll dangle towards the net and center. Ends up hitting the body of King and going into the far corner. King down and shaken up. Gladiators keep the play moving. Nychuk behind the net. King back to his feet. Ends up spitting it to the line, but Conroy's able to hold. Feathers it to Roost. Downhill to Walter. From beneath the right circle has McNamee behind the net. On his forehand, scans the interior, passes that way. Leaves over the stick of Roost, but Nychuk keeps it in. Mateer dangling down the right wing as it punched off his stick. They will leak up top to Nychuk. Delayed penalty. It's on South Carolina. Semptimphelter to the bench as the Stingrays touch up now. And we'll see the first power play of the night on either side with 1:36 left in the first. Looks like going to the box is Ben Howardchuk, who's making his series debut here tonight. Leave high stick in the call. And the Gladiators are off to the Eco-Electric power play. Gladiators went 0 for 6 on the power play last night in Game 3, and there was a lot left to be desired in Game 3, but this Gladiators power play has solved Bjorklund and the Stingrays' penalty kill once in this series, 1 for 12. as the Stingrays did have the 4th best penalty kill in the ECHL in the regular season at 85.4%. They are 91.7% so far in this series. Gladiators will begin with Young, O'Brien, Walter, Roost, and Nychuk. Young from the right circle tries to push it deeper, ends up burrowing the puck into the far corner for O'Brien. Walter helps it to the left point for Roost, returns it to the Swede, and they will trade places. Back to Roost again from the left circle, scans the slot. Nothing there that he likes right now. Threads it downhill, pass to the slot comes here. Walter stabbing for it, but Bjorklund able to keep it out. And he does get the whistle as well with 1:11 left in the first. If this Gladiators power play does not convert before the end of the period, this will carry over to 25 seconds of man advantage time to begin the second period. O'Brien will take the ensuing draw against Dean Locust on the near circle. Same personnel stay out there for Atlanta. South Carolina has King, Guzzo, Locust, and Krenzen on the ice for the kill. 1-1 game. O'Brien and Cooley both score for their respective clubs. Stingrays lead the shot count 10-9. O'Brien wins the draw. Nychuk at the left point, gets a lay of the land. Has Roost at the left wing half wall. Cuts inside to the high slot. Forced to the line where he takes a shot. King's got it. Gladiators try and slap it away. Into the final minute of the first period. Gladiators still on the power play. Gladiators slam it into the near corner for Roost. The Predators prospect. Chucks it to the line. Young keeps it in. Pass across to Nychuk. Feels some pressure, but it remains in the Stingray zone. From the near corner, O'Brien hard around to Young. At the right point, across to Nychuk. Sets up a shot for Roost. That goes wide. Now Young at the right point tries to ladle it downhill. Stingrays get in front of it. Active stick by Locust. Breaks up the pass, and he will clear. 20 seconds left in the first period. Gladiators send out the second power play unit. As McNamee lead this last charge in the first period. Cipollone on the right wing takes the pass. Glances off his stick. Stingrays clear. And that should just about do it for the first period. And so it is the first time in this series that neither team has led at the end of the first period. Gladiators led after one by 1-0 in both games 1 and 2. South Carolina 1-0 in game 3. Tonight here in game 4, it is a 1-1 tie through 20 minutes of play. Stingrays led the shot count 10-9 in the first frame, and the Gladiators will have 24 seconds of power play time to work with. Power Chuck still in the box to open the second period of play. Coming up next here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network is the first intermission report. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau to break down the first period, look ahead to the second, as we look further into this matchup between the Gladiators and the Stingrays and talk about what the Gladiators need to do to tie this series before we're off to Charleston for Game 5 on Friday. All that coming up on the other side of the break. Once again, your score, Atlanta 1 and South Carolina 1 after the end of the first period.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's. Gotta be fresh.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened in that first period. But first, let's check in with our scores. Right now, it is tied 1-1. The Stingrays have 9 shots on goal, and the Gladiators also have 9 shots on goal. So, bit of a tie game here with everything on the scoreboard, but do you think that's the case with how both teams competed so far in that first period?
Well, it's a breath of fresh air compared to what we saw in Game 3. For the Gladiators, it was a bit of a lackluster performance outside the first 9 minutes of the game where they really dominated the pace of play. It really felt like the ice was tilted last night at the beginning of Game 3. Gladiators did everything right but score, and I think that bit them in the backside a little bit. Ended up not getting much of anything going for the rest of the game as Bjorklund made some big saves for South Carolina. Stingrays turned the momentum and really rode with it throughout the rest of the game. Here at the beginning of Game 4, the Gladiators come out guns blazing again, and this time they are able to convert. It's a great executed line rush by that first line. New look first line crafted by head coach Matt Ginn here tonight as we see Josh Davies elevated from the fourth line all the way up to the left wing position on the first line. Jack O'Brien remains the center, and Alex Young, who was in the third line center position last night, moves up to the right wing position. He had gone cold as of late down the stretch in the regular season and in this series. Alex Young was scoreless in his last games. No longer, as those three do combine for the goal. Initial shot taken by Davies. Young was camped out in front of the net, is able to tap it to O'Brien, who's wide open back door. He punches it in, and the Gladiators score just 1:17 into the game, and that's exactly what they needed to happen.
Yeah, head coach Matt Ginn talked about how yesterday the start was amazing for them, and it seemed like he really wanted to replay that here in this first period and for this game entirely. He talked a lot about how the South Carolina Stingrays were more of a desperate team last night, and it kind of worked in their favor for playing with that type of urgency. So he wanted the team to come out here and kind of flip the switch a bit and have that desperation on the Gladiators' backs instead of the Stingrays. But you also mentioned the lines here, and I want to ask you, besides that top line, do you think that this new line pairing is working well for them so far?
I think so, and I think we've already seen it prove dividends so far in this game. Obviously, you mentioned the goal from O'Brien being a byproduct of that new look first line, but I really felt like the Gladiators were able to stay consistent throughout the course of the first period. It really felt like, once again, it's going to be another tight game between these two teams, as much of the season series was, and the first the first 2 games of the series were. And so here for the Gladiators today, I think the thing that was consistent for them here in the first period was their compete level. Again, you mentioned the hot start last night. Matt Ginn loved it. Everybody loved it. They did everything but score. And for the Gladiators, the other half of the first period was dreadful, abysmal. It really didn't go their way. And so here today, you switch around the lines a little bit. I think that gives everybody a little bit of sense of urgency, and that's something that Matt Ginn said in the keys to the game. And it's interesting that you mentioned desperation, and that key word kind of rings in my head because I was talking to Gladiators goaltending coach Mitch Korn before the playoff series. We're off to the bus to North Charleston, and he's kind of said that playoffs are kind of dictated by which team plays with that desperation factor, and usually it's the team that is trailing in the series. The team that is leading the series is going to have a very, very tough time of matching that desperation level to the team that is trailing, and that's a reason why these series are usually so tight unless one team is just outright dominating the other. And so we knew the Gladiators were going to bounce back here in Game 4, and they're showing that desperation level. And I think Matt Ginn, by shuffling the deck a little bit here with the line combos here in Game 4, kind of gave them that little nudge saying, hey, come on, it's time to go. Let's show that sense of urgency, which they very much lacked in Game 3. And so far, so good here in Game 4.
And we talked about it a lot yesterday. One of the big things for the Gladiators yesterday was not getting in front of that net and having that net presence. And Matt Ginn talked about that last night in post-game interviews, that was one of the things that the Gladiators kind of lacked last night as well. So I want to ask you, do you think that the Gladiators did a better job of doing that tonight?
I think they did, and I think we saw it on the goal from Jack O'Brien. Alex Young drove towards the net, kind of got in front of Bjorklund. I think that's one of the reasons why that rebound is given up by Bjorklund in the first place, and it kind of forces him into a quick play. Puck is loose. Young's able to jab it across to O'Brien waiting back door. And so far, that's already much better than what the Gladiators did last night in Game 3. And you got to think about it in the opposite sense. The Gladiators have done a nice job of cleaning up in front of TJ Semptimphelter. I saw the heat map for the shots last night for South Carolina in Game 3. A lot of those shots came between the circles and the slot. That's something that the Gladiators cannot have happen. And Matt Ginn and Zach Fennell, the Gladiators coaching staff, could not have been happy about that at all. Looks a lot better so far through 20 minutes here in Game 4.
And as you know, we're starting the second period with a bit of a power play. What do you think the Gladiators can do with that 24 seconds?
I think a lot of the fans from last night and into tonight would like to see the Gladiators shoot the puck a little bit more here on their power play. And the interesting thing about that is I think they very much would like to do that, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Stingrays and their penalty kill. They're doing a nice job of taking away shooting lanes. This is a South Carolina penalty kill that was a top 5 unit in the ECHL in the regular season, and that is why. They want to keep the Gladiators to the perimeter. They're not going to give them anything in the interior part of the ice. Gladiators going to have to get a little creative here on this power play. Power play is led by assistant coach Zach Fennell. We'll see what he crafts up here as this series moves on, and especially down here towards the later stages of Game 4. They still do have 24 seconds on that sentence to Howard Chuck to open the second. Not really sure if that's going to prove a difference or not, just given how short and abbreviated it is. But I kind of expect the Gladiators to maybe try and evolve their power play here as the series and the game moves on, because so far they've only produced one power play tally, and that coming back in Game 2.
Yeah, and we've talked about so far it's only been 4 games and it's been a very physical matchup. So hopefully they do have the chance to elevate that, like you said, going forward in this series. But we'll talk more about what you want to see in that second period when we come back from the break. Once again, it is tied here at Gas South Arena.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee Ward, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be talking about what we want to see in that second period, but first let's check in with our scores. It's tied here in Duluth, 1-1. Also, both teams have 9 shots on goal, and the Gladiators will start the second period with a power play about 24 seconds. So, Guy, what do you want to see in this second period from the Gladiators?
Well, for those of you who've been longtime viewers / listeners of Gladiators hockey all season long, You know what I'm going to say. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I want to see the second period surge. That is what helped the Gladiators win their lone win of the series back in Game 2. The Gladiators' best scoring period in the regular season by far was the second period, and we saw them explode in Game 2 for 3 second period goals en route to a 4-3 victory. I really feel like the Gladiators generated a bit of a buzz there in the first period. We are tied after 20 minutes, and the Gladiators, playing in front of their home crowd, will look to turn that momentum in their favor in full force here in the second period and execute the surge. Look for the Gladiators to take some more shots here in the second period. Look for them to get their skating legs under them. The one guy that I'm watching in particular here in this second period, and really his line in general,
I was going to ask you that.
It's got to be Adam Isley. Isley was zipping around there towards the end of the first period, had a very noticeable shift. I believe it was his last of the first period, put a couple shots on goal and was really just flying by everybody. I'm watching for that third line of Sylvester, Cipollone, and Isley. I feel like they can do some damage for the Gladiators here today. Obviously, a lot of people in league circles know how lethal Cody Sylvester can be. He's one of the Gladiators' all-time leading goal scorers, point scorers, assist scorers, you name it. He is on that list. If they can get him going at some point in this series, that could be an X factor for him. And I really felt like Joey Cipollone played really well down the stretch late in the regular season. Was on a point streak to end the year. Only has 1 assist so far in this series. Feels like if they can get him going too, that might do the trick for the Gladiators. I think the guy to light that spark is Adam Isley. There's nothing like getting a rookie into the lineup to kind of give everybody a little bit more of a nudge. Isley seems to have found his skating legs yet again here in Game 4. Watch for those 3 to be a factor in the second period.
Yeah, and we talked about it last night about how he's kind of fit right in with this team since that trade. So it's been great to watch him play so far, and so far leading in those goals for the playoffs right now. But is there anything else you're noticing from this first period that you would hope to carry over into the second?
I think for TJ Semptimphelter, he had a very composed first period. And for the Gladiators, they've been rotating their goalies game in and game out when both Hyder and Semptimphelter are available during the regular season. And so far, they've done that here in this series. Hyder in Game 1, Semptimphelter in Game 2, Hyder again in Game 3, and Semptimphelter here in Game 4. Really felt like he looked very calm, cool, and composed here in that first period. Stingrays tried to throw a couple of tricks towards the net. Semptimphelter was able to solve most of them, and the lone goal scored by Cooley. There wasn't really anything he could have done on that. It was just surgical passing from the Stingrays. Really used every inch of the Gladiators' zone to zip the puck every which way, get Semptimphelter out of sorts, and then Cooley was the last recipient to put it into the back of the net. Otherwise, I thought he had a fantastic first period, and watching him play, you wouldn't really expect him to be a rookie.
Right.
The way that he plays like a vet. He plays so calm, so cool, and composed. And I almost have to wonder that if the Gladiators do win this game here in Game 4, or even come close to winning this game, it's going to make it a very tricky conversation or a very tricky thought for Matt Ginn to opt. Who do you go with in Game 5?
Right.
As Hyder had a phenomenal Game 1. Game 3, I didn't think that game was on him, but if Semptimphelter is able to steal 2 games in this series, what do you do?
Yeah.
But that's a question for another time, but I really like the play of TJ Semptimphelter so far here tonight.
And do you want to do a chat check real quick before
Let's
we
do it.
head into the second?
Stadium Arena has actually got a question for us.
Oh.
Who is your favorite WWE wrestler?
I don't know if I know any WWE wrestlers.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed in the WWE scene, but you know who is?
Who?
Shockingly and surprisingly, Derek Nesbitt, the Gladiators Director of Community Engagement.
That's a fun fact.
He is very big into WWE scene, so I might have to ask him.
Yeah, we have to. I went to a WWE match when I was maybe in middle school. Like, my mom got free tickets to, it was where the Red Wings played at the time. So she got, like, season tickets for, like, events and stuff there. And I went, but I don't think I know anyone who's in there.
Fans hoping for the second
The
period
Rock.
surge.
Someone said The Rock. That's a good one. Can I steal your answer?
Daffy Doo said
Daffy
The
Doo,
Rock.
I might steal your answer, The Rock.
I might have to piggyback off of that as well. Is The Undertaker a WWE fighter? There's always that. There's that thing where he comes out of the coffin. That was pretty cool.
John Cena?
I think John Cena might be in that universe.
Can I ask a question? What is the pipeline of, like, pro wrestlers turning into actors? Like The Rock.
I'm not sure.
Is John Cena an actor? Well, who's that other guy that looks
John
kind of like
Cena's been
him?
in some stuff.
There's someone who looks like him who's also an actor. That used to be the guy in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Chris.
He
No,
was a
not.
wrestler.
Can't say I know. Hockey is more my realm.
All right.
So
well, we got somewhere with that question. That was fun. Thanks. I always love the chat.
Yeah, thanks for stating, Marina, for helping out.
But I see the Gladiators coming back onto the ice for that second period. Once again, they're going to be starting with a power play of 24 seconds, and it's tied here at Gas South Arena 1-1. We'll be back after the break.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
We are set for second period action from Gas South Arena. Gladiators and Stingrays all tied up at 1 after 1. Here in Game 4, Gladiators will open the second period with 24 seconds of power play time as Ben Howardchuk is still in the box for a high-sticking minor that occurred in the final 2 minutes of the first period. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, joined by Shelby Rabideau as well. Gladiators looking to even the series at 2 games apiece before Game 5 in North Charleston on Friday night. Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys and Gladiator gold numbers, and Gladiator gold trim will skate from left to right. Stingrays wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and red trim will skate from right to left. Gladiators will send out the first power play unit to begin the second period. Young, O'Brien, Isley, Mateer, and Nychuk. And Young will take the face-off against Jalen Lipin. And the Arizona State product will win it. Young back to Nychuk. And now Mateer will skate it over the attacking line. Tries to dangle towards the net. Stingrays read that. And they'll mail it all the way down for a clear. And this is the Gladiators' first power play of the game. And it looks like they're going to come up empty-handed. Out of the box is Howardchuk as O'Brien drives towards the net. Puck sputters to the right point where Young keeps the play alive. Pass from low to high would not go. Nychuk has to track it down in his end of the ice. Rushes it to Young near wing. Stretch pass broken up by the stick of Person. Now Denemy will chase after it with Rodzinski. And the puck made its way to the side of the cage as Denemy did get a piece of wood on it. Bjorklund able to cover up. And we get our first whistle 46 seconds into the second period. Faceoff will be to the right of Garen Bjorklund. He was started in every single game in this series for South Carolina. The former 6th-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals back in 2020. He is under contract with Washington. And spent much of the season with the Hershey Bears. As the Stingrays are able to win that face-off and clear out to center. Sweeping it behind Semtenfelter was Dean Locus. Less the first man on it. Shakes away from the forecheck of Person. Now Conroy makes his way to the left wing, slugs the head for Nolan. Quick pass off a stick. It'll bumble to Person, and he'll just slide it into the far corner where Conroy beats out Combs. Conroy pelts it through the neutral zone. Back to retrieve it is Stevie Lescavar, the prospect of the Minnesota Wild. Now Lipin tries to squirm his way down the left wing wall. Conroy gathers it in the trapezoid, hurls it to the far wall, and the Gladiators will clear to center again. Once again, fielded by Lescavar. Gladiators pick the puck away from Lipin on the stretch pass at the Atlanta blue line. Now Denemy takes flight. Gladiators' Iron Man has played in 150 consecutive games, including the postseason. Shut down on the zone entry. Breezing by him is Pinard. Mateer able to shut him down and set him into the far corner. Puck is free. Mateer returns to the play to grab it. He'll lead the charge up the ice. He'll pass it to the right wing, looking for Isley. Hit a stick and bumbles to Sylvester. Right circle shot goes wide on the near side, and momentum carries the puck out to center. Nychuk has it for Atlanta. Over to Mateer, his D partner. They'll shuffle the puck down to Bjorklund, who heaves it to the near wall. Cipollone jockeying with Lescavar, the Stingrays youngster, able to win that battle. South Carolina unable to clear the zone. Cipollone tries to set up Sylvester for a shot. The pass a bit behind. The captain turns and shoots from the right side, and it's blocked by Cooley. The Stingray goal scorer makes his way to the red line, pots the puck into the near corner, and gets off for a change. Fresh off the bench, Stingrays have reinforcements. Cooley tried to send it that way. The Gladiators were able to intercept the pass. 4-on-2 up ice. Down the middle is Nychuk. Tried to find Roost, who was slightly trailing off a stick and into the near corner. Stingrays peel the puck away, turn it over in the high slot. Pop fly, bobbled by Walter, and the puck does make its way out. South Carolina will direct it into the near corner as Cooley gets off to complete the change. Now Carabia ladles it up the ice for Roost. Over the red line, looking into the interior, drops it off for McNamee, who shoots. Blocker save, Bjorklund. Hofer has the rebound on the far wall, scampers out the center, and just prods it into the far corner. Chip and chase, Hofer gets there first. Two Gladiators sandwich him at the end wall. Stingrays keep the puck as they work it from low to high. Left wing shot by Rodzinski goes off a stick and out of play with 16:27 on the clock in the second period. It looks like they actually took a shot away from the Stingrays from the intermission to the start of the second period. Shot count reads 9-9 at this point. In a 1-1 game that's been basically even from the start. Gladiators did score first. Jack O'Brien, his second of the postseason from Young and Davies, 1:17 in. And then with 2:46 left in the first period, Stingrays got on the board, as it was Cooley from Connor Moore and DJ King. And the Stingrays have had a lot of assists and scoring from their defensemen in this series. We saw Rodzinski with a goal last night in Game 3. Now Moore has 3 assists in the series, and DJ King has a goal and 2 assists. Gladiators wedge the puck off the Stingray end wall. O'Brien gets to work in the near corner. Creates some separation for a shot. Glove save, Bjorklund off balance, able to haul it in. Makes the stop, and time will freeze. 3:49 into the second period. Interestingly enough, in this series, whichever team has outshot the other through the first 3 games has lost. Gladiators outshot the Stingrays in Game 1 and lost. Stingrays outshot the Gladiators in Game 2, and the Gladiators won. And then last night in Game 3, Gladiators outshot the Stingrays, and it was the Stingrays who won. Stingrays win the defensive zone draw. Combs tries to sneak out. Gladiators swipe it off his stick. Centers for a shot. Davies robbed by Bjorklund. A high riser blockered away. Cooley takes it on the fly. They'll pelt it around the horn to the far corner where Conroy beats out Person to it. Less open on the right wing. Throws it ahead to Davies. Wanted to go across, but it hit Combs, and now Davies forced to swipe it down and get off for a change. That first line has looked great for the Gladiators tonight. Young stays out on the forecheck as South Carolina slots it through the neutral zone, hits the stick of Combs at center red. Nolan hauls it in the near corner. Moved ahead for Denemy. Needs some contact at the red line as he forces the puck down to Bjorklund. From behind the net, plays it up the near glass. Gladiators bombard it back in at center, and looks like Mateer actually hit Denemy on that dump in. And it is going to be an offside. Denemy trying to get out of the zone as Mateer tried to blast it back in, and a bit of a friendly fire there. And this face-off will be out in the neutral zone. Lipin against Denemy. And Lipin does win it. Scoots it back to Krenzen, who drives it from corner to corner. Nychuk on the far side moves it to the near for Neely. Came back for the final 5 games of the regular season after spending much of the year in the FPHL with the Athens Rock Lobsters. Neely and company make their way down behind Bjorklund. They'll center for a shot, and Bjorklund jumps on it on a bomb from Mateer. And afterwards, Nolan was right in the kitchen of Bjorklund. Stingrays don't like that one bit. Well, Nolan caught in a bear hug. Will have to be separated. from Stevie Lescovar. That was a great setup to Jack Mateer, who took that shot from the top of the right circle. Bjorklund had to lunge towards that to be able to make the save. Feels like the Gladiators can start setting up Mateer for some more shots in this game. A great chance that a goal is going to come out of it. We've seen the Stingrays in this series get scoring from their back end. Chad Nychak got a goal and 2 assists in Game 2 in the Gladiators win. He's out there on the ice right now with Mateer. Meanwhile, Cipollone is the center. Is Sylvester and Isley flanking his wings. Stingrays win the draw. Pound the puck out to center. Nychuk ladles it ahead. Off a stick. Bumbling at center circle. Neither team able to get a full grip on it. Now Lescovar from the red line. Pots it from corner to corner. Nychuk there to meet it. Finds Sylvester in open ice. Along the left wing. Feeds it inside for Nychuk. Now along the right wing, it's Isley. Pulling up for a moment. He will shoot. Blocker save Bjorklund. Puck loose on the far side. Howardchuk diving. Clears the zone, and that will be an icing with 14:22 on the clock. Six out of the 9 regular season meetings between these two teams were decided by 1 goal. The Gladiators were 2-2-2 in the season series in such instances. Both these two teams, some of the best in the ECHL this season in 1-goal games. The Gladiators were 19-8-4-1. The Stingrays were 17-1-1-3 in 1-goal games in the regular year. Stingrays win another defensive zone face-off. A little bit more trouble clearing the zone this time. Lipin flushed to the far corner. Lifts it to the line. Glove down by Carabia, but momentum did carry him out the center, and it's going to be a hand pass. And as Jarvis touched it, and so now the clock will stop with 14:11 left in the second. Games 1 and 2 were both decided by 1 goal. Stingrays won 3-2 in Game 1. Gladiators 4-3 in Game 2. Last night, Game 3 was seemingly the outlier. Stingrays won that game 4-0. Much better effort from the Gladiators so far here in Game 4. McNamee on the far wing. Moves it inside to Roost. 2-on-1 for Atlanta. Roost to Walter for a shot. And a kick save by Bjorklund. Robs Isaac Walter. We found out in Game 3 that Bjorklund can steal a game. Came up with another magnificent save there. 2-on-1 for Atlanta. Roost to Walter, and the Swede robbed on the cross-ice feed. A dandy of a save from Bjorklund. Gladiators will look to keep him moving. They dump the puck down behind the Stingray netminder. South Carolina able to square him out to center. Funk from the red line. Tattoos it off the end wall. It'll hit the side of the net and carry him to the far corner where Conroy gets a hand on it. Pass for Davies, a bit behind. Rodzinski sweeps it a bit deeper. Gladiators' second exit attempt is successful. They'll throw it to the neutral zone. Davies to the net for a backhand try. That goes wide. Now Young along the far wall has the puck taken away by Hofer. Over the red line, he'll steer it in deep where it's picked up by Les below the goal line. He'll scoot it to the near side. Young ahead to O'Brien. Gladiators forced to retreat a bit as this Stingrays forecheck starts to wreak some havoc. Atlanta able to escape out the center where it goes off the stick of Rodzinski into about the 6th or 7th row where we get a stoppage with 12:40 left in the middle frame. Still tied up at 1 here in the second period. The Gladiators lead the shot count 14-9 in the second frame. They've outshot the Stingrays 5-0 here in period 2. We're back for more second period action from Game 4 after this.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Zivil Performance and Recovery is the official recovery partner of the Atlanta Gladiators with cryotherapy, infrared sauna, red light compression, float and oxygen therapy. Zivil helps reduce inflammation, speed recovery, and boost energy. Zivil, train hard, recover smarter, and perform like a gladiator every day. Back to live action here in Game 4. About midway through the contest, 12:30 left in the second. All tied up at 1 as Nolan fires the puck down to Bjorklund, slows it down and directs it to the far corner where Denemy gets engaged in the battle with Webb. The Stingray the victor as he tosses it ahead to Hofer, combines with Nakbar on the right wing, and the puck is sent to the end wall. Both teams looking for possession here as Jarvis loses it to Hofer, pass to the line, now at the left wing for Rodzinski, sidesteps and burrows it behind the net to Nakbar. Backhand pass goes to Hofer in the near corner. Ryan Hofer tries to shrug off Jarvis. Stingrays keep the puck as King rotates the puck around the boards to the far wall. Neely back the other way to King, who keeps the zone. Over to Nakbar in the near corner. Gladiators keeping the Stingrays to the outside as now Denemy throws a check on Hofer along the boards. Hofer able to hang on, tries to wrap it in, but Semptenfelter hugs the far post and is able to keep it out. Denemy heaves it to the neutral zone, glove down by Neely. Scrambles to the right wing for a shot that goes wide. Combs takes the loose puck in, has Wilkins ahead. He'll pass it to the left wing for Person. Fed bomb back to Cooley. Centered pass, broken up. King forced behind the net. Now Cooley left circle. Has it taken away by Isley, who dumps down King in the neutral zone. Stingrays direct the puck right back in. Cooley chases it to the end wall. Checked hard by Mateer. Cooley takes a spill. Turned over in the high slot as the Gladiators try and exit. Stingrays give it right back. Atlanta slings it to the blue line. Sylvester enters Stingray ice. At the right point, has some trouble. Chucks it across to Isley for a shot. Save made by Bjorklund. Puck is still free. Stingrays pump it ahead as Leipin gains the Gladiator line. Drifting down the left wing, he will shoot over the head of Semptenfelter to the far corner. Met by Combs, directed back to Leipin. Gladiators get some sticks on it, but South Carolina able to hold. Right point shot, flutters wide of Semptenfelter. Isley now in the near corner, directed to Mateer behind the net. Flushed out to the left wing, feeds it to the right. Pass behind Isley. Cipollone able to get control at center. Leaves it for McNamee upon entry. Isley a backhand shot. Turned away by Bjorklund. Now in the near corner, it is Rodzinski. Fluttering the puck through center. It'll skip to Les in the high slot of his own zone, and he will possess. Les had the third best season for a Gladiator player, plus-minus wise, in franchise history this season as a plus 26. On the ice with Conroy now. McNamee behind the net. Finds Les right circle for a shot. Saved by Bjorklund. Puck is free, and the Stingrays sweep it out of danger. Roost and Walter were there, but they couldn't find a way to punch it home. Now the Stingrays volley the puck out to center. Scrambling back to retrieve is Les. Slides it right wing for McNamee. A rumble over the attacking line. He'll sweep it to the right wing for Walter, but the pass a few yards ahead. Reeled in by Webb behind the cage. Attacking like a hound dog is Davies. He creates a separation. Davies towards the goal, and it's punched away by the stick of Bjorklund. Now Howard Chuck puts it behind the net. Semptenfelter leaves it. Conroy is there. Spins away from double coverage and has Young further up the wall on the far side. Moves it down the middle for O'Brien. Left for Young. Right circle pass to the slot. Off the stick of Conroy and picked away by the Stingrays. Funk takes it out to center. Drops it off for Howard Chuck. Stingrays are offside with 8:37 left in the second period. Game 4 opening up a bit here with 8:37 to go. Gladiators and Stingrays still tying up at 1. Atlanta leads the shot count 16-9.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Glads fans, download the Gladiators Game Day app to stay up to date with all the latest news, content, and scores. Purchase and manage your tickets within the app, shop merch, and more. Available for download on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And that Gladiators Game Day app does come quite in handy. I like to use it to look at the box scores. And perhaps, with the way things are rolling here, and the Gladiators pushing the pace here at the midway part of the second period, could be looking at a Game 6 on Monday, so keep an eye out on that. If Game 6 is necessary, it would be on Monday night in this building with a 7:10 start time, but don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. Contested draw to the right of Bjorklund. Shot snapped and blocked by Guzzo. He'll take it to the neutral zone and pound it into the far corner by Semptimphelter. Gladiators get it out of danger. Carabia floats it to center. Bouncing puck. Neely can't grab it. Floats it to the far wall. Denemy caught in a bind. Sees it breeze by him as he's tangled up with DJ King. Stretch pass for the Stingrays. Broken up at the Gladiator line. Bounces to center red where Nakbar brings Cooley into action. Swerves his way down into the near corner. Carabia checks him along the boards. Cooley able to emerge, puts it up top to King. Cross ice for a shot. That bounces wide of Semptimphelter. Cooley almost had it, waiting backdoor, but the Gladiators were able to sweep it away. South Carolina hanging to the outside as Carabia sauces it to the line. King unable to keep. Nolan's got some speed. Nolan almost beat him out to the puck, but one last swipe from King sent it out of harm's way. Now Nolan checked Rodzinski in the far corner. Those two will joust. Meanwhile, Combs has Cooley along the right wing. In the corner, stuff it behind the net and get off to complete a change as Conroy, with some open space, locates Roost at center ice. He'll slap it behind the net where Bjorklund spins it to the far wall. Stretch pass dropped off for Lipin. Slingshotting down the right wing. A backhand shot goes wide. Now Pinard from the left wing tries to find a man open at the left point, but nobody was there. Stingrays direct the puck off a stick and in. Mateer hard around. Pinard able to keep it. Walter picks it up off the wall. And a couple of quick passes for Atlanta. And they've cleared the zone again. South Carolina will move down the left wing in their next breakout. Quick touch pass to Wilkins. From the left circle, he will shoot. Kick safe Semptimphelter, and the Gladiators have the rebound. They'll look to rush up ice. McNamee angles it off the far corner. Wanted Isley, but Krenzen got there first. McNamee follows up on the play, throws a check, and Isley picks it up in the far corner. Stingrays knife the puck away as Howardchuk skates over the red line and plops it into the near corner. Chip and chase, but Carabia able to shove him off the puck. Gladiators once again look to go on a rush. Plans foiled at center circle. Puck to Dean Locus. And he will send it down the ice. No icing. Retrieval handled by Isley. 5:50 left in the second period. Game 4 still tied at 1 apiece. And the fans not too happy with the officiating crew so far here today. Just one power play on either side and belonged to the Gladiators. 3 penalties total, as we did see 4-on-4 action back in the first period. O'Brien dances his way to the left wing. Rolls it around to Sylvester at the right wing half wall. Sylvester tries to get around Locust. Quick exchange, a shot by Young. Off a stick and out of play. DJ King got his twig in front of it. He remained tied at 1 with 5:21 left in the second. More action to follow after this from our local partners.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
5:21 left in the second period. Gladiators and Stingrays tied up at 1. Gladiators hockey is presented by Freddy's. For the final 2 minutes of the second period will be Freddy's Frozen Minutes, where if the Gladiators scored a goal in that time frame, everyone in attendance will receive 1 free mini custard at Freddy's on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. We are 3 minutes and 21 seconds away from that. You have been put on notice. We'll see if the Gladiators get the next goal of this game here in the later stages of the second period. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Face off to the left of Bjorklund. Young will take it against Cooley. Alex Young led the team in scoring with 59 points, playing in all 72 games. Wins it to Davies, shrugged to the line for Conroy. Quick tap back to Davies, fans on the pass, and the Stingrays break it up. Turned over back to Davies for a shot. That goes high and wide. Now in the left corner, it's O'Brien, looking for Young behind the net. Felt some contact from Rodzinski, but was able to brush it back to O'Brien. From the far corner, scans the inside, looking for a tip in front. Puck paddled away from Davies by Bjorklund. Stingrays exit to center. Davies has been a real difference maker in this game. He checks Person hard in front of the Stingrays bench. South Carolina takes offense, and we're going to have a penalty here. Haymakers are thrown, fisticuffs ensue, and everybody has got a dance partner. And Bjorklund has come all the way out the center circle. Maybe he's looking TJ Sempton-Felter's way, but TJ calm, cool, and collected, unfazed. Meanwhile, Rodzinski taking a mouthful of fists. In front of the Stingrays bench is Ryan Conroy was laying down the law. Looks like for the second time tonight, Conroy's going to go to the box. We'll see what we have here. The initial check that caused all this was thrown by Davies on Person, and Brendan Less bloodied out of all that. Looks like he might go as well. Maybe not. We're going to go back to the Gladiators bench and try and get some repairs. Battle wounds for Brendan Less as the blood boils over here in Game 4. So in the box right now, you have Rodzinski for South Carolina, joined by Conroy and Davies on the Atlanta side. So if my assumption is correct, we'll see a Stingray power play here. Likely going to be roughing to Rodzinski and Conroy, and Davies not going to sit. Looks like he's going back towards the Gladiators bench. So hold the phone for a moment. Unfortunately for us here on Press 4, we're the last ones to find out what the official call is. On sequences like this, they typically don't give us a good hand signal as multiple penalties occur at the same time. So bear with us here. There's a 4-man officiating crew here tonight. Completely different than one that we saw last night in Game 3. Referees are Rocco Stakoviak, wearing number 28, and Jamie Pavio, wearing number 26. Linesmen are Nick Klitschko, wearing number 41, and Noah Ackerman, wearing number 62. And Klitschko, accompanied by Stakoviak and Pavia at the scorer's table, are going to try and find a way to sort this all out. So right now, as it stands, it is Rodzinski and Conroy in the box for their respective clubs. We did see 4-on-4 action back in the first period for roughing as Conroy and Guzzo both sap. And we'll see what we get here. 4:47 left in the second period. It looked like Garen Bjorklund was taking his chances out towards the neutral zone. Bjorklund did get in a goalie fight earlier in the year against Greensboro, so he's no stranger to it. Semptimphelter certainly seems like he could go toe-to-toe with somebody, but in a playoff game, probably thought the better of it. As he seems to be dialed in here in Game 4. Those of you on Flow Hockey get a good look at him now. DJ Semptimphelter, the first-year pro out of Nodak. So Hobie Baker finalist and a Mike Richter Award nominee in the 2022-23 season. He has spent some time with the Milwaukee Admirals this season, to whom he is under contract with, and this is taking a good amount of time. So much so that Bjorklund's starting to meander his way around. Get a good look at the replay. In-house person on his keister. O'Brien was there. Young and Combs in a scrap. But cool as always, TJ Semptimphelter. Did not join the pack. And he's going to push the puck towards the conference at the scorer's table, maybe to try and urge things on. Meanwhile, Dave Warsofsky, the head coach of the Stingrays, gets a word from Jamie Pavia as Stakoviak talks to Cody Sylvester. No time has been put up on the board penalty-wise to this point, although Riley Webb has now joined Romain Rodzinski in the Stingrays box. So we can only wait and see. We got some fans standing up in attendance, looking on. Gladiators return to the postseason for the first time since 2022 with this playoff run, and on Monday night played a playoff game in this building for the first time since 2018 when the Gladiators made it back in 2022. All 4 games were played in Jacksonville against the Icemen in a series where the Gladiators were ultimately swept. Gladiators looking for their first home playoff win since 2013. And before Game 2 of this series, that was the last time the Gladiators had won a playoff game. So right now you got 2 minutes on the board to Davies, who is not in the Gladiator box right now. So if he's not going to go himself, someone's going to have to serve, and it looks like Eric Neely will be the one to do that. I believe that will be the outlier, and the Stingrays are going to the power play. And so it will be South Carolina's first man advantage of the night with 4:47 left in the second. And we will see this Gladiators Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. Gladiators in the series are 9 for 10 on the PK. Stingrays scored their lone power play goal in the series last night in Game 3. Charlie Combs was the one who scored it. He's on the ice right now as Atlanta went 2 for 3 on the kill in Game 3. Your circle face-off, Stingrays have won it. At the left point, it is Moore. And for Pinard, over at the left circle, it is Lipen. Back to Pinard, shanks a shot, puck pinballs behind the cage. Gladiators in a hurry, try and pick it away from Lipen. Board battle ensues, some pushing and shoving as the puck leaks to the right point where it's handled by Moore. The Georgia native finds Pinard, takes the return feed, has Pinard once more. Down the left wing, connects with Lipen for a shot. Semptimphelter fights it off, and it hit him in the mask, and he'll shrug it off, and the whistle will immediately blow. Looks like a piece of something. Maybe it was the mask of Semptimphelter that is laying in the trapezoid in the Gladiator zone. I think that was the back part of the mask of TJ Semptimphelter that come off. He's going to try and snap that back in. Adjust that thing a little bit. And get us back to live action. It is worth noting that the Gladiators were one of the best teams in the regular season at scoring shorthanded goals. They had 12 shorthanded goals in the regular season. That was second only to Toledo, and Worcester also had 12. Gladiators have scored a shorthanded goal technically in this series. One of Adam Isley's back in Game 1 was a shorthanded goal, but it was technically scored at 5-on-5. It was delayed penalty on the Stingrays as South Carolina was on the power play, so Hyder had come off, extra attacker on, and then the Gladiators scored. And then we learned that technically that still is a shorthanded goal statistically. And so they do have one shorty so far in this series. Face off to the right of Semptimphelter. Stingrays have won another. Moore at the left point, dances to the right, feeds it to his left for Pinard. Down beneath the circle has Lipin. Now Pinard back to Lipin. And they wanted to go back to Pinard, but the pass well behind. Miscue from South Carolina. Free clear for Atlanta. 4 minutes left in the second. 50 seconds gone by on the penalty to Davies. It is worth noting right now that the Gladiators are without Ryan Conroy, who is one of their best penalty killers. At the right point, it is Moore. Over to the left for Pinard. Moore, high slot shot, blocked in front. Semptimphelter the save, and the Gladiators sweep it away. Stingrays keep the zone, though, as Pinard from the left wing scans the interior, connects with Wilkins, and moves it right point for Moore. He'll make his way to the circle, give it back to Wilkins. They will trade places as the longtime Stingray takes a shot through the slot off a body and wide. And now the Gladiators will clear. 30 seconds left on the penalty. Pinard back in on the left side, delays to Locus. Left for Moore at the line, has Pinard left circle, tried to go across, and it's broken up by Cipollone. Great read from the Quinnipiac product, now sporting a bubble. He goes off to the Gladiators bench as Pinard drives towards the net. On the re-entry, curls and connects with Moore. Back to Pinard at the right point, down into the corner, has an open man for a shot that's blocked by Carabia. Out of the box is Neely. Gladiators get the kill, and Neely will join the play as Nakbar has it behind the net. Tried to move from low to high, but the puck escaped the zone. At center, DJ King will angle off the near wall to Funk. He'll shimmy it around the boards to the far wall for Nakbar. The Hershey Bear product. Puts it behind the net, and now up top. Now in the near corner, it's Person. Centering for a shot from Funk. Blocker saves Semptimphelter. Another sparring match in the near corner. Puck ping-pongs behind the net. Funk keeps it, ladles it to the line, and they'll sludge it back down behind the net to Nakbar. Sweeps it inside for a shot by King. Caroms off a stick for another drive, and they score. DJ King in the slot, had the puck spurt right to his stick, and Semptimphelter out of position. Wasn't able to make the save, and the Stingrays take their first lead of Game 4. The Gladiators do get the kill on the penalty. But DJ King, who already has a multi-point night, he is able to convert the only goal in the second period thus far with 2:03 left in the middle frame. And now here in Game 4, the Gladiators trail for the first time tonight. Lescavar upended in the neutral zone. Gladiators have the puck. Isley across to Sylvester. He has some separation. He will center. Isley, a shot blocked in front and swept away. Gladiators try and box out Lescavar in the near corner. Puck goes behind the net to the trapezoid. Clearing attempt held in by Jarvis on the far side. They'll sauce it deeper, looking for Sylvester. Stingray is able to bottle him up and take it away. South Carolina emerges to center. We're into the Freddy's Frozen minutes with 1:20 left in the second. Josh Wilkins and Nolan Krenzen get assists on DJ King's second of the series. He scored the game winner back in Game 1. And now the go-ahead goal here in Game 4. Stingrays offside on their latest entry. Going to face off in the neutral zone. Shot count 18-14 in favor of the Gladiators, who have outshot the Stingrays 10-8 in the second period. This draw will be right at center circle. O'Brien will take it against Jalen Lipin. And off that draw, Wilkins bullies his way into the Gladiator zone. Atlanta tries to take it away. On the far wall, they will do just that. Carabia hoists it out to center. Bouncing puck, simmered down by Young. Takes a couple whacks at it. Makes his way to the right wing wall. Still looking for it. Puck on edge like a hot potato. Young just steers it behind the net where it's fielded by King. 40 seconds left in the second. Stingrays hemmed in their own zone for now. Davies along the left wing, slugs it behind the net for O'Brien. They make his way to the near corner. Checked by Krenzen. Puck goes back behind the cage. Davies stays with it. Has Mateer at the line. Right point shot, hits a stick and clanks to O'Brien. Pots it into the near corner for Young and is now returned to Mateer. Surfing the line, he will shoot. Shot goes wide and hits the backside of the cage. 8 seconds left in the second period. McNamee from the left corner scans the slot. O'Brien a shot up and out of play with 1.1 to go. And Conroy and Rodzinski and Webb are all released from their sentences. They will now rejoin the game. And so ultimately what it ended up being was Conroy and Webb both got a double minor for roughing. Same to Rodzinski. Les got the same. Then the lone penalty that had the Stingrays on the power play was a boarding minor to Josh Davies. Face off to the left of Bjorklund. Gladiators are going to have to try and get this to the net quick with just 1 second left on the clock. We have seen stranger things, i.e. the Reed Lebster incident against Utah back in December. If McNamee is going to take this draw, can get it on goal with a quick shot, they might have a chance. But that is not going to be the case. And the second period comes to a close. But not without some parting words. DJ King talking to the linesman, pointing towards the Gladiators bench. But a lot of pointing and shouting, pushing and shoving in this series, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. And so we will point you in the direction of the second intermission report, which is coming up next. South Carolina leads 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Atlanta out shooting South Carolina 19-17 to this point, but it is the Stingrays that lead as they have scored 2 unanswered goals from Cooley and King after O'Brien opened the scoring 1:17 in. We're back for the second intermission report. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau to break down the first 2 periods and look ahead to the third and talk about what the Gladiators need to do to make it a Game 4 comeback here in Duluth. All that coming up on the other side of the break as it's South Carolina 2 and Atlanta 1 after 2 periods of play in Game 4.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be talking about everything that happened in that second period, but first, let's check in with our scores. South Carolina Stingrays 2 with 17 shots on goal, and the Atlanta Gladiators 1 with 19 shots on goal. So the Gladiators came into that second period on a power play, which was unfortunately unsuccessful, but they did have a good penalty kill towards the end of the period. What were you seeing from their specialty teams in this period so far?
Yeah, it's been a very tight game in that regard. We haven't seen a whole lot of either team's special teams so far in this game, which is a slight change of pace from what we've seen for the first 3 games of this series. In Game 1, we saw the Gladiators power play and penalty kill quite frequently. We saw it again in Game 2. And things are quite a bit more on the quieter front here in Games 3 and 4. And I think both teams are starting to understand that you don't want to make any mistakes in a series like this, which is super, super tight. For the Stingrays, they were the most penalized team in the ECHL in the regular season. The Gladiators, one of the least penalized teams. And so you put that together, both of these two coaches probably told their guys, hey, let's try and stay out of the box. Don't want to give them any opportunities. And so that's kind of where we sit right now. For the Gladiators, a couple power play chances in this game. Nothing forthcoming so far, and their kill played very well there in the second period. Held South Carolina off the board. It was actually what happened afterwards that led to the Stingrays' goal, unfortunately, that has South Carolina on the board twice here in the second period.
Do you want to break down that second goal from South Carolina for us?
Yeah, something that I've noticed about the Stingrays, really in the way they play, and really the way they played in this series, is they don't give up on plays. And for South Carolina, the puck kind of pinballs around a bit. They find it out in front of the net, and DJ King, as we talked about before, that net front presence for South Carolina, he's right there, and he's able to slap it behind Semptenfelter, who gets out of position into the back of the net. And that really seems to be those kind of plays that has really been the difference for South Carolina in this series. Everything else has been super, super tight in this series between these two teams, but it's that area right in front of the netminder that South Carolina has had their way with. You see DJ King right there, the benefactor of that. He's able to put the loose puck behind TJ Semptenfelter. And right now, that is the difference here in Game 4.
And you know, yesterday's game, it was a crux for the Gladiators to get that defense in front of the net, but I think that they've done a pretty good job with that here today as far as net front presence with the defense. And you know, we've talked about it all season that, you know, the goalies can't do everything, and defense is very important. You know, your biggest defenseman is your goalie, but it also comes with the people on the back end as well, and I think they've done a really good job today in guarding that net. Unfortunately, we did see that goal late in the second, but I think so far it's been better than it was yesterday.
And it feels like in the playoffs, every mistake is magnified, right? I think that was one of the few times in this game that the Stingrays really had their way in the slot, and unfortunately led to the goal for DJ King. And so now the question for the Gladiators here is, you got 20 minutes to try and find a way to put one more puck by Garen Bjorklund and get that momentum back in your favor. We're going to see how they fare. I think that I'd like to see the Gladiators kind of approach just the way they did in the first period here in the third. Come out guns a-blazing. This crowd's going to be fired up out of the intermission. They're going to play some hype videos. Everybody's going to get fired up. Gladiators need to take that juice and roll with it here to start the third. And that next goal has to belong to Atlanta, because if it goes to South Carolina, we're going to see the Stingrays go back into lockdown mode like we saw them do in Game 3, and that might be it for the Gladiators. And so you talked about that desperation factor back in the first intermission. I think we're going to see a whole lot of that from the Gladiators here in the third.
Yeah, and another thing that head coach Matt Ginn mentioned was the fact that we need to work on the hard areas. Did you see anything that needed to be improved for this third period coming up, or do you think that they held their own pretty well in this second?
I think the Gladiators have done a good job of keeping plays to the outside here in Game 4. I think that was something that played them a little bit back in Game 3. Obviously, we talked about the slot area in the middle of the ice. That's a place that you don't want the Stingrays going to. Here in Game 4, the Gladiators have done a nice job of keeping South Carolina along the boards, along the perimeter. They've been winning those puck battles as well. In a game that is this tight, another one-goal game game between these two. What else is new? It's going to be those little plays that, like the mistakes in the series and in the game and in the playoffs, are going to get magnified. And so all the little things, all the finer details, call back to the keys to the game, those are going to be magnified, especially here in the third with the Gladiators trailing and looking to tie.
And was there any line in particular that you saw that played very well in this second period that you want to highlight?
I really felt like that first line continued to prove to be a big factor for the Gladiators. You and I were both talking about it between the break. We both really like the way that Josh Davies has played so far in this game. And the thing about Davies was that he spent the start of the season with the Savannah Ghost Pirates, ended up making his way to Milwaukee, played 15 games with the Admirals, and was assigned to the Gladiators in the final game of the regular season. He hasn't been with this team all that long, and so I think for Josh Davies, we're finally starting to see him kind of get into his groove. He can be a big-time playmaker. He can really throw his body weight around, and now that he's getting more and more comfortable, I think we're starting to see that, and that's why he's proven to be a force for the Gladiators here today. Remember, he's the one who took the initial shot on the goal that led to O'Brien's score. And he was definitely a wrecking ball there in the second period, throwing Ludwig Persson down to the ground, really just going on a rampage. Look for Josh Davies in that first line to continue to be a dominant force for the Gladiators here in the third.
Is there anything in particular that you noticed about his play? Because I know he hasn't been with the Gladiators for that long, as you mentioned, but is there something that you think is his strong suit out of everything that you've seen so far in this series since he's joined Atlanta?
What surprised me about Josh Davies, and we saw him play earlier in the season with the Savannah Ghost Pirates, what shocks me about him is the first time I met him off the ice when he first came here to Atlanta, went down to shake his hand, and he only stands at 5'10", so he's not a super tall guy, but he is stocky. He has got some big frame to him, and he weighs in at 200 pounds. So 5'10", 200 pounds. He is a bulky guy, and he's got a lot of muscle to him, and I think that's why he's able to run around like a wrecking ball and really be, for lack of a better term, a really driving force for the Gladiators and really whichever team he plays for. And we saw that there in the second period, and it really started to agitate the Stingrays. And one thing that I've noticed about South Carolina is if you're able to agitate them, if you're able to knock them off their game, they will start taking penalties. As I mentioned before, they are the most penalized team in the ECHL. They have a chance to let their tempers flare, and we're starting to see that here in Game 4. We didn't see a whole lot of that in Game 3, and lo and behold, South Carolina won that one by a landslide. If the Gladiators can knock South Carolina off their groove here in the third and get a little bit of jam from Josh Davies and company, might lead to some more power play opportunities, and the Gladiators would have to convert on those. And we always do talk about that special teams battle. It's going to be those nitty-gritty parts of the game that are going to come to light here in the third period.
Yeah, and I remember yesterday you talking about, since the Glads were trailing leading into the third period yesterday, you mentioned that, get the South Carolina Stingrays agitated, get that dumb penalty, like you said, to hopefully get those chances to score. So would you say the same is for the case tonight?
I think so, and I think that's going to be a theme all series long. It was for the first 3 games. It's going to be again here tonight. For the Gladiators, they've had their woes in the power play this season. Obviously, in this series, neither team has really fared well on the power play so far in this opening round slate, and it's really been a battle of the 2 penalty kills, and South Carolina's penalty kill has been phenomenal for them, as the Gladiators have been. And so I think what it's going to come down to is who is able to get that one extra power play goal. And the Gladiators have had their chances on the power plays in this series. And I would bet that they probably do get at least one more crack at it here in the third, as we saw the Stingrays get a little peeved off there late in the second period. Something is going to happen. The Gladiators will get their opportunity. It might only happen once, might happen a few more times, but they're going to have to find a way to make the most of that opportunity here in the late stages of Game 4.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about what you want to see from the Gladiators in that third period when we come back from the break. And we'll also do a little chat check when we come back as well. Once again, it is Stingrays 2 and the Atlanta Gladiators 1 here at Gas South Arena. We will be right back after the break.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be talking about what we want to see in this third period, but first, let's check in with our scores. South Carolina Stingrays 2, 17 shots on goal. And Atlanta Gladiators 1 with 19 shots on goal. So, Guy, what do you want the Gladiators to do in this third period?
Push, baby, push. The Gladiators have to push here in the third period. And one of the keys to the game from head coach Matt Ginn was urgency. The Gladiators did not show any of that in Game 3. They got to come out with something. Somebody's got to light a fire in their gut here in the third period and get them rolling, and it has to come from their leadership group. Cody Sylvester, Ryan Conroy, Andrew Jarvis, those are the guys wearing letters for the Gladiators here this season. You've seen Ryan Conroy get right in the thick of it. He's done his part. I'd like to see Cody Sylvester be more of a difference maker here in the third period. And really for the entire team of that matter, they have to show a spark. They have to show something here in the third. And we're going to see that desperation factor that all of us have talked about so many times. We're going to have to see that here in the third period if the Gladiators are going to make this a comeback.
Yep, and it all comes down to who wants it more. And that's the key. You want to check out that chat, see what everyone's saying?
Let's check it out. Peach Fuzz asks, is there a playoff beater challenge for the Glads?
Guy, I think you have an important question that I couldn't answer, but maybe everyone in the chat can answer.
I am growing out a playoff beard. The players are growing out a playoff beard, and fans are encouraged to grow out a playoff beard as well. And I think if we go on a deep enough run, we will start to showcase those on social media. For me right now, it's been a little over a week, so I don't have much going, but this lighting here in our live studio isn't really helping matters.
Wow.
But that's it. That's what I got so far. And we encourage fans to take part in the playoff beard challenge.
You're not going to ask if it's okay to trim the beard?
That was my question. Is it okay to trim the beard? And prior to Game 3, I did not. I was not trimming my playoff beard, but it was starting to get itchy, and really the mustache area was starting to bug me. And I had asked a lot of people within the organization and outside of it, is it okay to trim your playoff beard? You keep the beard, but you trim it.
I said no.
And there were mixed results. And you know what? After the way Game 3 went, I went back home, slept on it, and this morning I said, you know what? Got to change a little bit. And so I did trim it up.
So
and let's go on a deep run.
If the Gladiators lose, it's Guy's fault.
Well, I don't know if we go that far, but I mean, you could always blame it on Jared Youngman or something. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody else around. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, right? It's maybe the color tie that I wear. Who knows?
You got an answer.
Not okay to trim the beard. I mean, I got mixed results. Like it's so hard to say. Like everybody said one thing and others said something else.
And also, what is the female equivalent to
I don't know.
Like,
you answer that one. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. We were having this debate. So let us know in the chat if men are allowed to trim their beards and what I should do for the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Flying GK asked, how do you get into calling games? Long answer, short, since we're running out of time here in the intermission report. Happened to be around some very great people early on in my career. I was with the Utah Grizzlies with Tyson Whiting for the first portion of my career as an intern. He really helped me get my foot in the door, helped me build my tape. Fantastic dude. Did a great job calling Utah Grizzlies games, and he is my great friend and mentor, and I do wish him the best after the Grizzlies have relocated to Trenton, New Jersey. One of the best to ever do it, and certainly taught me the best. And he helped me get my foot in the door, helped me build my tape, and really, you just got to have somebody in your corner, and you have to have the passion, you have to drive, and just try it out. I remember I was calling games on YouTube Live in my bedroom, just getting practice, and eventually got to me where I'm at. So chase your dreams, love what you do, and I'm going to love this third period. I'm feeling the Gladiators come back.
Third period throttle?
Let's do it.
All right, everyone, the Gladiators are heading back out on the ice. Once again, it is 2 the Stingrays and 1 for the Gladiators. Guy, we'll see you after the break.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
We are set for third period action at Gas South Arena. The Atlanta Gladiators trail the South Carolina Stingrays 2-1 in the series and 2-1 to open the third period in Game 4. Gladiators trying to even up the series, heading into Game 5 on Friday night in North Charleston. Only need to get 1 to go to tie this game, and then anything goes after that. Good thing for all of us is we are treated to it here on a Tuesday night. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Trimmed beard and all. You know what? I had a lot of mixed opinions from very good, incredible sources. And for those of you who were in the building for Game 3, I think you can understand my choice. Game 3 was not good at all, and sometimes you need a little bit of a change. Gladiators tweaked their lines here ahead of Game 4. Seems to have worked out quite well, and that little change is proving to be a big factor. Combs deep in the Gladiators zone. Finds Cooley behind the net. Back to Combs, centers, it pinballs off a skate. Septemfelter fights it away and then leaps on it. They get a whistle 19 seconds in. And it really is a game of inches and sometimes a game of luck. And that ended up carrying off the defenseman in front. I believe that was Conroy. Hit his skate, went hurtling towards the goal. Septemfelter able to react to it just quick enough and keep that puck out. To this point, Septemfelter has stopped 17 of 19. Darren Bjorklund, 18 of 19. As now Isley takes it over the red line, and the puck leaps into the air, stays in play, and the Stingrays have control. They'll roll out to the right wing. King, who has the go-ahead goal, shuttles it ahead to Leipin. 2-on-2 up the ice as Leipin takes a shot, and Septemfelter makes the save. And afterwards, the pot continues to boil over. Sylvester jockeying with Leipin, who's lost his bucket. And I almost wonder if at some point, if this continues to carry on, whistle after whistle, these officials just try and put a lid on it, start just sending guys to the box. It looks like that was what was starting to happen towards the end of the second period. We're not going to see any calls here, though, and both teams will get fresh blood on. Face-off on the near circle to the left of TJ Septemfelter. Jack O'Brien, the former Portland Winterhawk, will take this against Stan Cooley. First-year pro out of Colorado College. And sticky fingers for the linesman, Nick Klitschko. And now he's finally dropped the thing, and we are back to live action. Point to point, Rodzinski to Person. He'll slam it off the end wall for Combs, who's tied up with Jarvis. He will slither free, connect with Cooley behind the cage. On his backhand, tries to turn to the forehand, dumped down by Carabia. Stingrays keep the puck. They'll lob it to the left point for Rodzinski. Spinorama pass, broken up by Davies. Puck loose at center. Has Young racing right wing. Alex Young with a shot. He scores! Alex Young sneaks it in, and we're tied at 2. What a shot from Alex Young! And he's exploded in Game 4, now has a goal and an assist. After being held scoreless in his last 9 games, dating back to the regular season, the Gladiators' leading point scorer is back in a big way. And just listen to that crowd. The Gladiators have some juice now. Puck rolls down to Semptim-Velter. Young's got his first of the postseason. And believe it or not, for Alex Young, who has been a part of separate playoff runs, is back in the playoffs with Adirondack back in 2024. That is his first career playoff goal. Long shot by Conroy, goes wide of Bjorklund. Gladiators buzzing, Roost to the near wall, puts it up top to Conroy, and the puck will escape the zone. Semptim-Velter will track it down. Ryan Nolan up the left wing, plunges into Stingray ice, directs the puck to the corner wall where the Stingrays quickly wedge it free. Guzzo makes his way to the far wing, scoots it to the near. Nakbar has it tangled away by Nychuk. Mateer chases after it to his own end wall. Takes a check from Hofer, but stays with the puck. Hofer sneaks it free and centers for a shot. Fought off by Semptim-Velter. Now Nychuk has it in the near corner. Hofer strips it away. Nychuk gets back on the play, slaps it away from Hofer, the Capitals prospect. And Nolan will pitch it through center. He surges after it, grabbed by Connor Moore. Flushed out from behind his net, scoots it to center where Jarvis gets a stick on it. Ends up boomeranging back to Moore. 17-20 left in the third period as Semptim-Velter fights off a shot. Young's tally came 1 minute and 9 seconds into the final frame as the puck rolls in on Semptim-Velter. Broken stick in the area. I believe that belonged to Jalen Lipin, who takes a shot from Carabia after the whistle. Tie game, and tempers continue to flare. You think about what this game means for both these two teams. Gladiators win it, the series is tied, becomes a best of 3, heading back to North Charleston. Stingrays win, they take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. Got the stranglehold on Atlanta, and their backs will be against the wall, facing elimination for Game 5 on Friday. As Shelby said in the intermission report, depends on how bad you want it. Gladiators come out with a purpose here in the third and have tied the game. Look at these Gladiator fans, they're awesome. All decked out and ready to go. Shot from the far wing, blocked in front. Pinard checked hard by Cipollone, able to weasel the puck away. Cipollone out to the neutral zone. Stingrays spit it back in, and Les will hunt it down. And pelt it out to the neutral zone. Quick touch from Sylvester to Cipollone. Down the middle he goes. Brushes it right wing for Isley. Trying to return it to Cipollone, but the Stingrays twist it away. Diving is Webb to slug it into the Gladiator zone. He'll get off for a change. Now Mateer looking up the ice. Has an avenue along the right wing as Young ends up directing it out of play. Had the right idea, but the execution just a tad off. And the clock will stop. 3:28 into the third. And the face-off will be right at center circle. Jack O'Brien will take this against Stan Cooley. It's Young from Davies, 109 into the third, that has tied this game up at 2. Josh Davies, 2 assists tonight. His first 2 points as a Gladiator, and it could not have come at a better time. Gladiators win the draw. Young off the wall has O'Brien down the right wing. Snap shot wide of Bjorklund. Nychuk pinches at the left point to keep the zone. Tried to feed it inside, but the Stingrays intercept. Puck loose at center circle. O'Brien reels it back in. Jockeying with Cooley, who has lost his stick. Puck spurts to the Stingrays defense, and they give it right back to O'Brien. Threads it across the line to Davies, and they're going to call it offside as Davies takes a couple shoves from Ben Howarchuk. And they bundle together at the end wall behind Bjorklund. Just 4 seconds shy of 4 minutes gone by in the third. And we've seen Ben Howarchuk be a physical force for South Carolina in the season series. And interesting note about Ben Howarchuk, he was actually a part of the last playoff series that the Gladiators played in back in 2022 as a part of the Jacksonville Icemen. And so a little bit of deja vu for the Gladiators fans to see Ben Howarchuk back in a playoff series against the Gladiators, this time as a member of the Stingrays, with whom he has been for the last 2 seasons. Howarchuk's going to stay out there. This faceoff is going to be in the neutral zone right in front of the Stingrays bench. And the Stingrays do win it. Moore to King, has some room to roam. From the red line, angles it off the glass in the near corner as it makes its way to the far. Carabia takes a check, but is able to get it to Walter. Puck spurts back to the end wall. Carabia has it picked away by Howarchuk. He will center, and it's picked off by Walter. He'll try and drive in along the left wing, stuffed at the line. Walter tries to get it back as Howarchuk got a stick in there. And now leap to King on the left wing, and he'll just fire it in. King goes off. Puck out to center once more. Corralled by Moore, sent ahead to Nakbar. Now behind the net is Dylan Carabia, sweeping it to the right wing. It'll breeze by Ryan Nolan. It'll be an icing on Atlanta with 4:45 gone by in the third. Shot count 23-20 in favor of South Carolina. Again, another interesting note about this series. Every team that has outshot the other in the prior 3 games has lost. Face off on the far circle. Roosts against Lipin. The Gladiators will slap it to neutral ice off of that. Rodzinski, the former Steelhead, gets there. Moves it ahead to Lipin. Burrowing down the right wing. Looks to center. Intercepted by Denemy. He'll slap it to the right side. Neely touches it ahead to Nolan. Quick pass inside for Denemy. Pushed away by Webb. Back on it is Nolan. To the left circle for a shot over the head of Bjorklund and out of play. Rodzinski might have got a stick in there on the back check. And the clock will stop. 5:12 into the third. Gladiators will keep Nolan, Neely, and Denemy on the ice. Blue liners are Conroy and Les. Face-off will be on the near circle. Denemy, the former Regina Pat, to take it against Patro Guzzo. The Gladiators do win it, but the puck escapes the zone, and on the swift re-entry, they are offside. So, we'll take this back out to the neutral zone. And the same players that were on the last sequence will remain. Carson Denemy, very consistent. One of the Gladiators' best forecheckers in the regular season, and he has been their Iron Man. Played in all 72 games last season. He's played in all 72 games this season. And tonight, Carson Denemy is playing in his 151st straight ECHL game. Neely on the far wall, looks up the ice, has Denemy blazing down the middle. He'll gain the red line and steer the puck down to Bjorklund and get off for a change. Isley on the forecheck, bats the puck away from Nakbar. Stingrays defense able to control as Moore shuttles it ahead to Nakbar at center circle. Driving down the right wing, chases it into the near corner. Defending him is Cody Sylvester. Mateer picks up a loose puck. Fans take up a Let's Go Glads chant as the puck bounces to center red for Cipollone. Tries to leave it for Sylvester. Hofer reads that like a book. Slugs it to the right wing where it hits the stick of Cooley and is gathered by Isley. He'll pass it left wing for Nydchuk. Dropped off at the point for Sylvester. Shot, bounces towards the goal, and it gets blocked on the way. Stretch pass to Combs. He's on a breakaway. Charlie Combs will score. And the Stingrays take the lead back as Combs has his 5th of the series. Gladiators got burnt on that same play in Game 3. It happens again in Game 4. Charlie Combs scores 6:19 into the 3rd, and the Stingrays lead 3-2. Now we'll see how the Gladiators respond to that. O'Brien against Locust on the ensuing draw. Combs has a goal in every single game in this series. 1 goal in Game 1, 1 goal in Game 2, 2 goals in Game 3, and now the go-ahead goal here in Game 4. Stingrays offside upon their latest entry, and more pushing and shoving after the whistle. Leskovar swinging some punches at Davies. Those two all swaddled up. Glove still on for Davies. A couple punches are being thrown by Nakbar, who's also still got his gloves on. Bucket off for Davies, though. And out of all of that, we are going to step aside. No love lost between these two. And Leskovar still trying to go after Davies. Penalties likely to follow. We'll see him on the other side. Stingrays 3, Gladiators 2, 13:26 left in the 3rd.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Out of the chaos, with 13:26 left in the 3rd. Stingrays leading 3-2 in the go-ahead goal from Charlie Combs. It is Davies and Leskovar both in the box, and it appears that both given a minor penalty for roughing. So we'll see 4-on-4 play here. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. They're from Gas South Arena in Game 4. Game 5 is on Friday night from North Charleston Coliseum. 7:05 puck drop, 6:45 pregame show. Hope to see you all back for that contest. How good has Charlie Combs been for the Stingrays? 5 goals in 4 games in this series now. Back in the regular season, missed some time with injury, had 10 goals and 6 assists for 16 points in 34 games. And he now has 7 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 for a point streak dating back to the end of the regular season. In the near corner, it is Cooley. Looks like we actually stay 5-on-5 with Davies and Leskovar in the box. They did throw up some time initially, but it has since been taken off. And so now, with 7 minutes gone by in the 3rd, it is Person behind TJ Semptenfelter. Gladiators pinch him off the puck. At the right point, it's Webb across to Rodzinski. Delayed to Combs. Puck bounces off his stick. Gladiators have men up the ice. Roos stumbles a bit and is checked at the blue line as he dumps it in. Mizzou ends up being a difference maker for the Gladiators here in Game 4. Young had tied it at 2. 1:09 into the period. Gladiators will look to do it again. Nolan in front of the Stingrays bench, swipes it down to the end wall. Handled by Rodzinski, flushed to the near wing. They'll skip off the glass to Wilkins at center. Les creates a takeaway at the blue line. Lipin surges in. Feeds it left wing to Pinard. Back inside to Lipin. Hopped over a stick and went into the near corner. They center again for Pinard, and a snapshot eaten up by Semptimphelter with 12:05 on the clock. And afterwards, everybody comes together again. They just can't get enough of each other. And Pinard had a good chance between the circles there with that shot, but not a lot of time and space. Pretty routine save for Semptimphelter on Simon Pinard, who was the Stingrays' leading scorer back in the regular season. Under contract to Hershey, he had 73 points in 70 games to the tune of 30 goals and 43 assists. He was named to the All-ECHL first team. So far in this series, it's really been the guys around Pinard that have been a difference, and most notably, of course, Charlie Combs. Face off along the near circle. Denemy to take it against Lipin. Shot count 25-21 in favor of the Stingrays. And off that draw, Gladiators do have control. Les to Conroy. It's Lipin at the end wall, able to shed the defender, or I should say the forechecker. The Gladiators get out to center. An errant pass taken away by Pinard. Conroy right back on it. Gathers it below the blue line and locates Nolan in the near corner. Whip it around the horn out to center. Neely tries to peel it away from King. Loose puck in the neutral zone, gathered by Nakbar. As Hofer spun off it by Nychuk. Able to get it back, and it pelts him right in the face. Ends up staying with it. Stingrays enter on the right side. Nakbar downhill to Guzzo. Backhands it over to the far corner for Hofer. He'll jab it up top for Rodzinski, who shoots. Blocked by Sylvester. Puck goes out to center. Stingrays dump it back in. Behind the net, Semptimphelter leaves it for Nychuk. They'll skate it ahead. Connect with Petir on the right wing. Gladiators direct it down to the end wall. Rodzinski turns it over in the high slot. Sylvester feeds it left wing to Jarvis. He will shoot. Tip in front. Bjorklund's got it. As right on the doorstep was Cipolone. And that is the right idea for these Gladiators. Jarvis waited for the right moment. Saw Cipolone driving towards the net. Wanted that tip and maybe got it, but Bjorklund able to absorb it like a sponge. Keeps it out. Face off on the near circle. Cipolone to take it against Locus. Cipolone wins it. Carabia, a shot off the end wall. Wanted to angle it to Sylvester, but Webb got in front of it. Gladiators try and pick it back up. They do at center. Isley forced to drive it back in as everybody tags back up. Sylvester from the left wing leaves it for Cipolone. He will shoot. Fought off by Bjorklund on the short side shot. Jarvis unable to hold the zone off a Stingray clear. Will backpedal into his own end. And now it looks like we have a penalty on South Carolina. Semptimphelter to the bench. Extra attacker is on, and we will see the UCO Electric power play once more at some point. O'Brien carries it on the left side, swerves it around the horn where it's met by Combs in the far corner. He will touch up, and the Gladiators are going to the power play. And this could be their big break. After the whistle, the Stingrays trying to draw something else, try and get us to 4-on-4, but Adam Isley keeps a cool head. And we will see the power play for the Gladiators come back out onto the ice for the second time tonight. And it looks like going to the box is Ben Howardchuk. It is the second time he has made his way to the penalty box tonight. 10:07 left in the third. Face-off will be to the left of Bjorklund. Young, O'Brien, Walter, Roost, and Nychuk, the first unit on the ice for Atlanta. Gladiators win the draw. Roost in the high slot, has it pinched off his stick, chases out to the neutral zone. Gladiators try and go right back in. Roost will chip it down to the near corner. Flushed out to the far side. Moore has a man up ahead. Puck clanks to the right point. Gladiators keep it alive. Extra effort from the Stingrays, and they will clear. Howardchuk in the box for cross-checking. Already 30 seconds gone by on that. Walter dekes on in. Moves it right wing for Young for a shot. And Bjorklund's got it. As Walter took a spill in front of the net. 9:29 left in the third, 1:23 left on this Gladiator power play. So much riding on this series for both of these two teams. For the Gladiators, their first postseason berth since 2022, trying to win their first playoff series since 2013. For the Stingrays, won the Brabham Cup last year. Things were looking good against Orlando, and then the Solar Bears came back and beat them in 7. What was a disappointing year for folks in Charleston. Both of these two teams trying to exercise their playoff demons in this series. 5th time they've ever met in the postseason, and they've split 2 wins apiece. Walter at the right wing, exchanges with Young. Now Nychuk at the right point, takes a shot. It deflects into the near corner. Walter now, point to point, has Young open right circle, pulls away from Locust to create some separation. They rotate it to the left wing to Roost. Now Nychuk at the line, sets up Young right circle. He will shoot. Blocker save Bjorklund. Rebound to Roost along the left wing. Down low to Walter. Up top to Roost. He'll surf the line, give it back to Walter. Left circle shot just screeches wide. Nychuk keeps the line. Has Young left circle. Driving towards the net. Makes his way to the perimeter. Steers it to Roost at the left point. Austin Roost. Back to Alex Young. Roost again. Across to Nychuk. Now Roost. Left circle. Down to Young. Tries to spin it to the slot. That's kicked away by Krenzen. Now Walter behind the net. Ladles it to Roost left wing. Across for a drive. Blocked by Guzzo. He is down. Gladiators have some open space. Roost a drive. Fought off by Bjorklund. Penalty power play coming to an end. Out of the box is Howardchuk. Gladiators keep the zone. Working out of the near corner, it's Roost. Has some separation. Sets up Walter at the line. Cross ice. Nychuk fakes a shot. Roost to the right circle for a shot that goes wide. O'Brien was the one who took it. Nychuk keeps the zone. Gladiators buzzing off the power play as O'Brien looks to go across. It hits a stick on the way and leaps to Roost. Left for Conroy at the point. Down low to Young. Up top, Roost takes a shot into a screen. Blocked there and held at the line by Roost for another drive that goes wide. Tired Stingrays on the ice. Can the Gladiators capitalize? 7:22 left in the third. Stingrays lead 3-2. Conroy along the left wing. Leaves it for Nychuk. Inside for Sylvester, and his missile goes wide. And the puck will squirt out the center, and the Stingrays get fresh men on. Nychuk over the red line. Gains the attacking zone. Centers for Isley. A shot blocked by Rodzinski. Now Nychuk left circle. He will shoot. Pop to the slot, and it goes wide. Les at the right point. Tracks it across to Nychuk. He will hold for a shot that goes off a stick and out of play with 6:49 on the clock. The Gladiators had him on their heels off the power play, but Garen Bjorklund and the Stingrays are able to hold the Gladiators at bay. South Carolina 3, Atlanta 2, 6:49 to go in regulation.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
6:49 left in regulation. South Carolina leads Game 4, 3-2. They also lead the series 2-1. Gladiators had them on their heels for the last 4 minutes or so of game time with the power play and the shifts that followed, but weren't able to get a goal out of it. Out of the media timeout. Faceoff will be to the right of Bjorklund. Cipollone will take it against Cooley. Joey Cipollone has been great at the dot this year. Big face-off coming up, and he's won it. Les at the line, takes a shot, blocked in front. Puck is taken away by Cooley. And thrown the length of the ice. Skips away from Combs as he does beat out the icing. Conroy takes a check at the wall. Ladles it ahead to Cipollone. Now Sylvester left wing. Brushes it over the attacking line. Rodzinski gets there first, but it bumbles off his stick. Sylvester back on it, leaves it for Conroy. Up at the right point, it's Les. Over to Sylvester, cross ice to Cipollone, spinning and shooting. A backhand shot is blocked by Webb. Now Sylvester on the right wing takes it in. Threads it up top to Conroy. Shakes a defender at the line, spins it to the slot. Cipollone will track it down in the near corner. Now Isley, waiting for reinforcements as the Gladiators change defenseman. Takes a shot. Cipollone another. Save Bjork on the rebound. Fandom by Mateer. And the Stingrays clear. This will be an icing with 5:48 on the clock. And they've had their chances. The Gladiators have had their chances here as the third period has gone on. And this is it. The desperation factor that Shelby and I were talking about earlier in this game. We're seeing a lot of urgency, a lot of pace from the Gladiators, and it feels like at some point the levy's got to break. But so far, it hasn't. And O'Brien against Cooley along the near circle. And Cooley's won it for the Stingrays. Clearing attempt held in by Nychuk. Young scoots it deeper into the near corner. Stingrays from there lift it over their heads. And this should end up being another icing. No, it won't be. Didn't have enough steam, and Nychuk forced to go grab it. Davies directs it in over the attacking line. Young gets it first at the end wall. Tries to sneak it over to the near corner for O'Brien, but the Stingrays got a stick on it. Extra swipe from Nychuk, and O'Brien's got it back. In the near corner, finds Nychuk once more. Shot from the line. Hits Moore and goes into the near corner. Young takes it to the far. Left for Jarvis. Doing some pressure from Hofer in the corner. Puck gets pinned up along the boards. 5 minutes left in regulation in Game 4. Stingrays lead 3-2 in this game and 2-1 in the series. South Carolina picks it free, slaps it ahead. Errant pass goes to Jarvis. On his backhand, rips it to the neutral zone as the Gladiators get fresh men on. South Carolina plops it into the far corner. Carabia will get it for Atlanta. Keep an eye on TJ Semptimphelter here as time continues to dwindle down. Gladiators want a penalty. Fans do as well, but they're not going to get it as players collided in the near corner of the Stingray zone. Gladiators punch it down to the far corner, and the fans do voice their displeasure. Now along the near boards, it is Roost. Peels the puck away, sets up a shot. That whistles wide of Bjorklund from the right point. And momentum will send the puck through center. Les will go hunt it down. Now there's down to 4 minutes left in regulation. Les looking for an avenue up the ice, stretches it to Neely. Off his stick, he'll grab it in the far corner. Neely pulls up on his forehand, chips it to the near corner. That area is vacant, and Moore will get there and waffle it back out to center. Glove down by Mateer. As it glanced off the stick of Denemy and in deep. Bjorklund will leave it in the trapezoid. Now heave it to his left. Cipolone keeps the zone. Spins one towards the goal. Stick save Bjorklund. Rebound to King. From the far wall. Lifts it out to center. Nychuk has it with 3:20 to play. Neely, quick pass upon entry. Nolan shoots. Shot is blocked. Puck will trickle to the end wall. Gladiators get a couple of sticks on it. It ends up going to Moore. He'll hoist it out to center. Flag down by Hofer. Left for Locust. Gladiators think it should be an offside, and they might be right. But it's all for naught. Gladiators take it back out to center. Isley charges in. Pulls up at the right point. Steers it down low to Sylvester. The captain on his backhand. Lifts it to the left point for Conroy, and he bobbles it, and it leaks out of the zone. Gladiators forced to tag up with 2:40 to play. Snakes his way over the red line, and now Stingrays blue. Conroy tripped up, and that's a penalty. Stingrays are going to touch up, and the Gladiators will have one more Eco-Electric power play with 2:31 to play in a game in which they trail 3-2. High drama at Gas South Arena. We're going to see the final sequence of regulation coming up after this.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gladiators to the power play. Riley Webb in the box, 2 for tripping with 2:31 to play. TJ Sempton-Felter is between the pipes. And so it'll be a 5-on-4 power play for the Gladiators as they trail by 1. Face off to the left of Bjorklund. Young will take this against Jalen Lipin. Puck goes into the far corner. Nychuk has it. Sweeps it to Young, waiting at the half wall. Down low, Walter waits behind the net. On his forehand, ladles it to the line. Roos to Walter. Pass across for a shot that goes wide. Sempton-Felter off to the bench. Now it's a 6-on-4. Net is empty for Atlanta. Nychuk walks the line. Passes to Young. He will shoot. That pass goes wide. Roos puts it to the goal. Ends up on top of the cage and staying out. Young at the right point. Looking downhill. Threads it across to Nychuk. Back to Young. Makes his way to the circle for a shot. Blocked away by Bjorklund. Loose puck lifted out the center. And Nychuk has it bounce oddly in front of him. Stingrays try and kick it away. Lipin to the empty cage, and it goes wide. And the Gladiators stay alive. 1:30 to play. Young charges ahead. Cross ice to Roost. At the left point, moves it to the right. Back to Young once more. Roost in the high slot. Feeds Nychuk at the left point. Now Young, right circle. Back to Nychuk. Young again. He will hold. Nychuk will shoot. He scores! Chad Nychuk with a power play goal. Ties the game at 3. 1:05 to play. And the Gladiators have made it a brand new game. Inject that Gladiators magic into my veins. We're not done yet. Oh, the suspense. Who is going to shoot it? Nychuk or Young? And it ends up being the standout defenseman, Chad Nychuk, with 65 seconds to go, has tied it at 3. Stingray center from below the goal line. Gladiators sweep it away. It ends up caroming down to Stingray ice. And South Carolina chucks it back out the center. 40 seconds left in regulation. Person hustles down the left wing. Drops it off for Combs. Scanning the interior, centers that way. Shot is fan. Rodzinski shoots. He scores! Romain Rodzinski with 28 seconds to go restores the lead for South Carolina. It's 4-3 Stingrays. And a hush has fallen over the crowd here at Gas South Arena, and fans are making their way towards the exits. Rodzinski, the goal, his second of the series. Gladiators dump it in. Septemfelter to the bench. Do they have one more magic moment in them? Septemfelter stumbles on the way, gets to the bench. The right point, it's Roos across to Nychuk. Another shot blocked in front, 10 seconds to go. Roost at the line, running out of time. Nychuk, what do you got? Another shot is blocked. Puck out of the zone. And game 4 goes to the Stingrays. Oh, wait! No way! You're kidding me! A shot from the red line ends up going in! Was there enough time? Hold the phone! They say no goal on the ice. Are they going to give it a look? What's it gonna be? What an insane ending this. Is the game over? Time is out. Nychuk in one last effort from the red line, slapped it to the goal. It did go in. Was there time on the clock? And they're going to talk this over right now. They haven't taken it to the iPad yet, and now they're going to give it a look. The Stingrays are going off to the locker room. They think they've won the game. The Gladiators staying on the bench, throwing up a Hail Mary. And they are giving it a look at the iPad. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. If there was time on the clock, we're going to overtime. If not, that is the end of the game. I think there might have been time left. There might have been a 1/10 of a second. And the look that Shelby gave me up here, the call on the ice was no goal. The referee taking a look at it is Jamie Pavia, and he's got the verdict. It is... Oh, he's talking at the scorer's table. No goal. No goal, and game 4, in dramatic fashion, goes to the Stingrays. And South Carolina leads the series 3-1. Fans are up in arms. It was close. And they think there's a 1/10 of a second left. But that is the end of the game. A controversial ending as ever. Don't let the fans take it away. Wow. That look there. Or I'm at, I can't see the clock. The catwalk's blocking it. I can't see it. Oh, man. Well, we'll just have to take it for what it is. You know, as Morgan Wallen once said, you win some, you lose some. It ain't always home runs. That's just the way it ends. South Carolina takes game 4 by the final score of 4-3. Dramatic ending. We'll wrap it all up on the post-game show after this from our local partners.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
The final score is 4-3 here in Game 4. Some fans in disbelief have not yet made their way to the exit, and with an ending like that, they are certainly and understandably shell-shocked. This was as dramatic of an ending as you could possibly imagine. And here is how we got here. South Carolina wins this game 4-3, and it begins with the Gladiators scoring the opening goal. 1:17 in. Jack O'Brien from Alex Young and Josh Davies. Gladiators opened the scoring in a hurry, and they had the 1-0 lead. Quick zone rush from that new look first line. Davies took the initial shot. Young was in front. Puck leaked to O'Brien backdoor, and he scored to make it 1-0. South Carolina tied the game at 1 with Stan Cooley getting on the board with 2:46 left in the first. In the second period, South Carolina, it's their second straight goal to make it a 2-1 lead as DJ King put in a loose puck with 2:03 left in the period to give South Carolina a 2-1 lead. And then in the third period, that's where things get really, really wacky. Early on in the period, Alex Young snipes one with almost no space between the post and Bjorklund into the back of the net. 1:09 in from Davies to make it a 2-2 tie. South Carolina got their lead back about midway through the period as Charlie Combs, as he has done time and time again this season, stretches it in on a breakaway and scores as Moore pretty much sent it from his back end to the Gladiator blue line to Combs for the score that made it 3-2. And then the drama. Chad Nychuk, late in regulation, 6-on-5, Gladiators on the power play and the net empty. Takes a shot, tickles the twine. We are tied at 3 with 65 seconds to go. And it looked like we were heading for our first overtime game of the series until Romain Rodzinski scores with 28 seconds on the clock. And that made it 4-3 South Carolina. But that's not where the controversy comes in. The controversy comes in where the Gladiators quickly, with less than half a minute to go, win the next face-off, get the puck in the zone. They start to set up shop, and a shot by Nychuk is blocked. And the puck trickles out to center circle. And time running out, and I think I called it as such, is that the game was over, but there was a little bit of time left on the clock, maybe a little bit premature on my end. Nychuk, in a last-ditch effort, throws up a Hail Mary, much like you've seen Aaron Rodgers and famous football players do. He just takes a big wind-up at it and smacks it towards the goal, and it's a bullseye. It ends up in the back of the net. It beats Bjorklund, and the call on the ice, no goal. They say there was no time left, so they take it to video replay. They go look at it on the iPad. And from what I've seen, which isn't a surely definitive angle, and the clock could potentially be off, from the Flow Sports feed to what was actually down there, I mean, it got to have been close to about a tenth of a second. It was darn close. They take it to the iPad. They take it to review. And the call on the ice stands. It is no goal. And you have to find definitive and conclusive evidence from the video replay to overturn the call on the ice, which was no goal. And they did not find as such. And it ends up being a no goal, and the Stingrays, by the skin of their teeth, take Game 4 and now have a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. And I think this one, let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the top. Game 3 was abysmal for the Gladiators. I mean, it was one to forget. I mean, it was one of the ones where you want to just burn the tape and, move on. The old Bill Belichick phrase. I mean, he says, we're on to Cincinnati. I mean, we're on to Game 4. It's just get past Game 3. Game 3, there wasn't a whole lot of good that came out of Game 3 for the Gladiators. So they move on to Game 4, and they really did put together a nice effort here tonight. I mean, much better compared to Game 3. And, they checked a lot of their boxes. I mean, they struck firsts. They capitalized on their momentum. They ended up scoring the power play goal late in regulation, something that they'd only done once earlier on in the series. But I think there were still a few more issues that plagued the Gladiators in this game. Obviously, they have not found a way to contain Charlie Combs, who now has 5 goals in this series. Had 1 in Game 1, 1 in Game 2, 2 in Game 3, and 1 again here in Game 4. And the Gladiators, it looked like they found a way, but you got to give a lot of credit to South Carolina. I mean, the goal from Romain Rodzinski, that was a play that the Gladiators could not have had happen. It was a pass from below the goal line, up top, Rodzinski shoots, he scores, and another storyline in this series has been the Stingrays' defense and the way that they've been able to chip in offensively. I mean, we see here tonight, King with a goal for South Carolina. He's got 4 points in the series. Rodzinski for South Carolina has his second goal of the series. I mean, you look up and down, and these Stingrays defensemen have been chipping in. I mean, Connor Moore has multiple assists in this series. And you look at the Gladiator side, it's Chad Nychuk and it's everybody else. Chad Nychuk has been the one Gladiators defenseman that has been point producing, and the Gladiators really haven't had that on their back end like the Stingrays have had, and it's the way these Stingrays defensemen pinch at the line and jump into the play. That has been one of the reasons why South Carolina is up by 2 games in this series. And go figure, it's another 1-goal contest between these two games, these two teams. And, in the 3 out of the 4 games in this series, except for Game 3, they've all been decided by 1 goal. And Atlanta won 1 of those contests, and now they've lost 2, and now their backs are against the wall heading into Game 5 on Friday. They have to win. It's a must game. It's a must-win game for the Gladiators. Otherwise, they will be eliminated. And you can say what you want about, the controversy at the end of this game, and I think this will be a game that lives on in infamy. I do. It might be a long time, if ever, if Gladiators fans forget this one and move on from it. I mean, every team has a game like that, right? But, you got to think about the lead up to that and the response from South Carolina. The Gladiators had the lead. They surrendered it in the second period, tied it up early in the third, gave it right back with the breakaway goal to Combs. Nychuk ties it, and then gave it right back up again. And Rodzinski scores the game-winning goal, and that's it. That's the game. And it's a shame. It's a shame because it really felt like the Gladiators had a chance to win this game. They certainly had their opportunities to win this game, and they didn't. And that's just playoff hockey. I mean, you flip a coin, and it ends up spinning one way one time. You flip it, and then you flip it again, and it ends up simmering down on the other side, and vice versa. I mean, there's so many ifs, ands, and buts. And who knows? Maybe that puck did cross the goal line at the end of the game, and there was time left on the board. We'll take the official's judgment. But, what if? What if there was time left on the board? I guess we'll never know. The Stingrays do outshoot the Gladiators 25, or excuse me, no, the Gladiators do outshoot the Stingrays 32-27 in this game, as the page in the Gladiators Game Day app does finally refresh. The Gladiators do outshoot the Stingrays 32-27 in this game, outshot them 13-10 in the third period, and the trend continues. The team that has outshot the other in this series has lost every single game in this series. And TJ Septemfelter, in a losing effort, stops 23 of 27. And Garen Bjorklund, 29 of 32. Gladiators in this game end up going well, they do score on the power play. That should be corrected. That Nychuk goal was a power play goal, so it should be 1 for 3 on the power play. And the Stingrays are scoreless on the power play. Gladiators go 1 for 1 on the kill. And this is, I feel like this is one of those games where it really could have gone one way or the other. Both teams deserve to win, but somebody's got to lose. And unfortunately for the Gladiators, despite the much better effort from Game 3 to Game 4, they are on the losing end of it. And we'll see how they play in Game 5 with their backs against the wall. Game 5, an elimination game. Gladiators have to win it. Will be on Friday night in North Charleston. 7:05 puck drop, 6:45 pregame show. We'll have it all for you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Thank you to everybody who was tuned in and listening to us here tonight. We'll take a look at our live chat before we go, as I'm sure this one has a lot of fans up in arms. And, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a case to be made about Game 3, right? I mean, there certainly was a lot left to be desired in Game 3. Bjorklund, was great in this game for the Stingrays. I thought Septemfelter played quite well for the Gladiators as well. Obviously the fans think that the puck went into the back of the net. Ends up not being. And the Gladiators end up falling in this game. And so, that is all. Fans not happy about it, but hopefully the Gladiators are able to force a Game 6. We'll be back here on Monday night, but as it stands, again, it is Game 5. On Friday night in North Charleston, 7:05 puck drop, 6:45 pregame show. We'll have it all for you here in the Gladiators Broadcast Network, on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Everybody, get some rest. It's not over yet. And Guy Chiarenza, thanking you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Your final score, the Stingrays 4 and the Gladiators 3. Final from Gas South Arena. We'll see you back again on Friday from North Charleston for Game 5.